is big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello and welcome to Live at the Bike. I'm David Tuckman, and I am going solo tonight. Anybody who's married knows what it's like to do it by yourself. Anyway, we have a pretty exciting night. We've got Bart in the game tonight. We've got a 10-20 no-limit hold'em game. The minimum buy-in is $1,000, but this game plays much bigger than that. And we've got a lot of the usual names in there. We've got Mo, we've got Bart, and it should be a real exciting game. So why don't we get to the action? In seat 1, got the aforementioned Mo. There he is. Nice smile there. Look at that, friendly guy. Seat 2, we've got Eugene. And Eugene, I mean, I tell you, Eugene just loves Live at the Bike. He plays 80 last night. Tonight he's playing a 10-20 game. He'll play pretty much any game. Seat 3's name's also Mo. His last name is Yassini, so we're going to call him Yassini for the night. Okay? And seat 4, we've got Mike, Corporation Mike. There you go. Seat 5, we've got Bart. Let's see how Bart does tonight. A lot of pressure on him. All you guys can write in, let him know I did. Seat 6, we got Barry. Barry, don't call me Greenstein Woods. Enjoying a massage. Got a lot of money in front of him. Seat 7, we've got Abel. And Abel's actually without his wife. Usually his loyal wife is right behind him, but not tonight. And he's got some white chips, a lot of white chips, stuck behind his orange chips there. Seat 8, we've got Amir. And Amir's really opened up his game in the last couple of months. He used to be real ABC, real tight, in-the-box player. But now he's definitely capable of making a move or two. And in seat 9, we've got Alan, enjoying a little filet mignon there. And classic Alan. So why don't we get to the action? First hand of the night. Button is in seat 1. We've got it 3 ways here. A bet by Barry Woods. He's actually got a straight. He flops the straight here. He bets $900 into the pot, and he takes it down. There we go. If you want to follow a live thread, you can go to 2plus2.com, click on forums, click on World Poker Tour and other events, and we've got Live at the Bike, official live thread for February 3rd, and it's actually 10-20 no limit with Bart. Pretty exciting. Try to keep the show as interactive as possible. You can also email us at live@thebike.com. Once again, that's live@thebike.com. I do read them, and I will respond to them. Should be an interesting night, me in the booth by myself. Button is in seat 2.
120.
And we get a raise out of Mo in seat 1 to $120. He's got ace-10 offsuit. And Barry's thinking about calling him here with king-10 offsuit. He's badly dominated. And Barry's going to call. Heads up now. Pot is about $260. Flop is king, jack, 9, rainbow. Both players miss. Both players have a gut shot.
220.
Now, if the queen comes, you wonder if Barry's going to get himself in a lot of trouble here. Well, turns to 3 of diamonds. Mo's still in the lead here. But Barry's going to bet. And Mo is calling. Wow. And we've quickly got about a $1,500 pot. And the river's a queen. Oh, wow, this could really get ugly here. Barry has got a straight. And there is no flush out there. Barry has a straight, and he's going to bet what looks like 700 into it. And Mo has the absolute nuts. Mo's got Broadway here, folks. Wow, what a hand. Bart is going to be jealous right away.
If he's bluffing, he bets. If he has a hand, he bets.
And Mo is if he talks, he's got it, I guess.
What is it this time, Mo? You have Jack, Queen. You think? Does Jack, Queen beat you? If it beats you, then let it down.
Oh, wow. And let's see how much more money Mo's got there. And Mo goes all in.
You call?
And Barry calls. Oh, wow. Oh, I knew the queen was going to kill Barry, and that is huge, folks. And Mo had 2,500 more, and I want to get word of exactly how much he had. We're getting word that Mo had 2,500 more, so that's 6,400 in on the river.
I'll take 7 first.
Wow. I mean, we're talking probably about an $8,000 pot right out of the gate, folks. Mo doubles up right away.
7 is 15.
Man.
15
Woo.
30.
What a start of the show. I tell you, I look forward to Friday nights all week. It's always a great game. It's our big game. It's our 10-20 no-limit game. And it's always filled with action.
15. 30, right?
Man, I thought Barry was taking a week off. Maybe he should have.
Come on here.
Oh, and just like that, Mo doubles up through Barry. The queen was the ultimate card for Mo there. Wow. And I'm getting word, I think Nicole is actually off today. If everybody's wondering why Nicole's not in the booth with me. Obviously, she would have been, but I think she's off on a Friday. Getting her thing on or something. I don't know. Button moves over to seat 3.
I'm saying, okay, you have King Jack. No, he's asking me. King Jack is.
Ace Jack suited in seat 2. Wow, look at that. That's Hollywood Russ, folks. Well, anybody from the old school live at the bike, Hollywood Russ hasn't been around for a while. And he is back. Let's see if he's trying to get in the game. Limped around 7 ways. Good luck, Ronnie. Actually, 8 ways. Pot is $160. Wow, what a flop for Eugene. Eugene has top pair and the nut flush draw, folks. Now, Mike also has a flush draw. If a spade comes, Mike could be in trouble here. And it gets checked around to Eugene. He bets $200. And Mike is going to call. And Mike's in really bad shape, folks. And wow, and Abel is going to call with another ace. He has ace-7. And there's the spade, folks. Oh, wow. And they both have hit a flush here. Mike has a redraw. He could hit the straight flush if the 7 of spades were to come off.
No, he checked out a turn. I didn't do anything. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and Mike bets 500 right into the pot. And Eugene, I want to see how much money Eugene has. He's pretty deep also. Eugene's got about $2,000. And Eugene asked him if he had a flush, and Mike said yes. And he said, how high was it? And Mike does have one out, folks. The 7 of spades. And Eugene just calls. And the river is a 9, but not the 9 of spades. And Mike's going to bet his... Wow, Mike's betting 700 into the pot now. He thinks his flush is good. And Eugene's probably going to raise this up now. He's got about 1,500 left. And he's going to move all in, and Mike calls. And Mike calls, and just like that, Eugene doubles up through Mike. Wow, we got fireworks right away. Man, I tell you. We get barred out of the booth, and the game just livens up right away. Wow, and just like that, I want to get word of exactly what Eugene had. But $1,540 more. Wow, and the pot was already about... I want to say the pot was about $1,500 plus about $2,500. We're talking about another $6,000 pot there. Man, 2 hands. We've seen an $8,000 pot that Mo's taken down, and now Eugene takes down a $6,000 pot. I got to tell you, Eugene might not play in the $80 game anymore if he keeps doing this up. We get a straddle here from Abel. Straddle is twice the big blind there. He gets to act last by straddling. So it's $40 to call now.
8-2 exposed. Raise 100.
We get a raise out of Barry here raises with pocket 5s to $100. Abel's going to call with 9s. Alan's going to call with 6s. And Yassini is going to call with Jack 10 of spades. And the flop comes out ace-6 deuce, and Alan has a set of 6s, folks. Unfortunately for him, nobody has an ace. But Barry's going to continue with the bet here, I think. And he is.
400.
And he bets $400. Wow. And Alan's trying to figure out how to play this here. Obviously, And he's going to raise it right away.
1,000 total.
And when Alan raises, he usually has it. And Barry obviously mucks their fives. You know, if Alan's showing strength, you got to know fives are no good there. Board wasn't really draw heavy. I mean, there is a couple of hearts out there, but Alan's not the type of player to raise on a semi-bluff.
First 10 minutes, big start, huh?
Now one of the guys came in, Ross, came in just for this game. I'm saying, what can I do? He's third up on the board.
And we haven't heard much from Bart yet.
Yeah, it's almost
We've had three hands here. We've had so far. We've had the nuts over this, pretty much the second nuts. We've had flush over flush, and now we've got Alan hitting a set. Button is in seat 5.
It's done 9 deuce, Wayne. We're getting better.
And Barry folds his small blind. And it limps around. 5 ways, $100 pot. Flop is queen 9-7. And we've got a couple of draws out here. I'm sorry, it's queen 10-7. Yassini's got an open-ended straight draw. Alan has top pair. Mo has second pair. And Alan is going to bet $200 with top pair. Pretty good kicker. King, queen there. And he bets $200 into a $100 pot. Wow. And Yassini is going to call with the open-ended straight draw. And the the turn is an 8 there. Doesn't change anything. Mo would have made 2 pair, but he's out. And Alan's going to bet $200 again now. Pot is now $500. Pot is actually $700. $200 to call. And Yassini's going to call again. The river is a 5, and that changes nothing. Let's see if Alan shuts down now. Alan's not the type of player to usually... And look at this. He's going to bet again.
400.
Kind of a small bet. And Yassini's not going to call. And Alan takes down what amounts to about a $900 pot there. Well done, Alan. 2 in a row for him. Got a couple of really exciting things tonight. We're actually giving away 2 complimentary meals to the HT Grill in Redondo Beach, California. But we need your help at home. So what we're asking you as the viewer, guess who is going to walk away with the most money or lose the most money. You have to email us, okay, and write in with your player and how much you think they will win or lose. The pick closest to the result at the end of the show will win a meal, as well as that player obviously will win a meal as well. So write your guess, 1 per person allowed, to live@thebike.com now. And we're going to close the offers by 8 p.m. sharp. So jump on it, please. Just let us know who you think is going to win or lose the most money and by how much. And Mo's got aces and nobody calls.
Big guy.
Our cameraman wants to guess.
Yeah, actually.
Button is in seat 7. That's Abel. Alan took a break.
Two more colors.
He went out to celebrate his set of 6s with a smoke, I bet. Action is on Yassini. He's going to fold.
60.
And Barry makes kind of a smallish $60 raise there. In a 10-20 game, that is a pretty small raise. Gets called in 2 spots. Gets called in 3 spots. And we got 4 ways, $60, $240 pot, folks. Flop is Jack, 10, Jack, 2 clubs. Abel is open-ended, but so is Mo, and Mo's got the upper end of it. So checks around to Abel, and he's going to bet $250. Let's see if Mo gets involved with a paired board out there, and he is. This is a paired board and a 2 flush board, so you got to be careful with that straight draw. Turns a 5. That doesn't change anything. And Mo is going to bet right into it now. Kind of a little bit of blocker bet. He's kind of naming his price.
When you called, I knew I was in trouble.
Looks like he bets 500. Bets 400 into about an $800 pot. And he gets called here. And the river's a 6, and it's a 3rd club. And neither player gets there. And Mo's hand is good with king high. And he bets $300 into the pot. kind of screams, I'm weak, but Abel can't just call. He's got 9 high, folks. I mean, Abel's pretty much in fold or raise situation here. And if he raises, I don't think Mo can call. The third club came on the river, and look at that. Abel is going to lay this down. And Mo actually had the best hand, but there's no way for him to know that.
Yeah, if he played it.
Well played by Mo. Takes himself down. Takes about an $1,800 pot down there. So once again, we are giving away 2 complimentary meals to the HT Grill in Redondo Beach, California. Please email us at liveatthebike.com with who you think will win or lose and how much you think they're going to win or lose. The pick closest to the result at the end of the show will win a meal, as well as that player. And we're going to close the offers by 8 p.m. sharp, so get them in.
How many deuces are in the deck?
And obviously, if you live in Chicago, it does not come with airfare, okay? So you've got to get out here. But hey, the poker's great. Play a couple nights in this game, you can pay for your airfare. Yassini's got pocket jacks, and he limps under the gun, and he hits a set. Wow. And Barry is in bad shape here. No, Barry's not in the hand. Luckily for him, because Barry actually had 8-6. Barry had a pair and a flush draw. Wow, Abel's going to raise it up to 240. And Abel's got 5-7. He's open-ended. And Mo's calling with an open-ended straight draw as well.
Raise.
And Yassini's going to raise this now.
400.
And he makes it 400 more. And Yassini's in good shape here, but he's up against 2 open-ended straight draws. And the pot is about, I want to say that pot's about a little over $1,000 now. Actually, more than that. It's about $1,100, $400 to call. You know, Mo's almost getting 3-1 on his money. Because you want to take one off. Once again, it's a 2 flush on the board. And he's going to just call. And Mo needs a 7 or a queen. Wow, and that's quad jacks for Yassini there, folks. And Mo is obviously drawing completely dead here. And Yassini's going to check behind him. And the river is a 10, and you wonder if Mo is going to get himself in trouble here, because he's got 2 pair now. And Yassini goes all in for $500, and Mo's going to pay him off.
Jackpot. What, there is no jackpot?
540.
And fortunately for Mo, Yassini didn't have much money. You wonder if Yassini had actually a lot more money if Mo had gotten involved. You're not sure. Who knows? Once again, we are live here, unscripted, unedited. Catch us Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Normally it's Bart and me, myself. Tonight, I'm doing it solo, though. So keep me company with some emails, please. I have a surprise later. I think we're going to have a surprise guest commentator in here, though.
Waiting for you to go in, Alan. Huh? Waiting for you to push. Everybody else says,
Oh, you didn't call my 600. You called my 600. Next one, I was all in. No matter what comes. You called my 600. No matter what the turn was, I was
And C3 Yassini doubles up here. Wow, 15 minutes into the show, and we've already got 3 players doubled up.
You didn't give me the opportunity.
Button is in seat 1. That's Mo.
No shadow. Alan killed it.
And, wow, Mike has limped in with pocket aces under the gun. Now, is he going to get a raise from anybody in this table? I'm not sure. Oh, man. Mike limps in with aces here. Let's see if he gets himself in trouble. And we're going to see it 7 ways.
7 players.
Oh, wow. 7 ways, $140 to the flop. Flop is King 10-6. And look at this. Seat 8, Amir has 2 pair. Seat 8, Amir has 2 pair. Mike is going to bet $100 into the flop, see where he's at. Flop, once again, is King 10-6, and Amir is going to raise it up right away. Make it $300 to go. Uh-oh. Mom always said, don't go broke in an unraised pot. And I think Mike's got a $1,000 chip onto those whites. We're not sure, though. And he does. And he's going to just call. Pot is now $700. Turn is a deuce. That changes nothing here. And Mike's going to check, and Amir is going to bet this. And he bets $400 into it. And is Mike going to pay him off here? And Mike just calls here, and Mike's going to need a 6, a deuce, or an ace. Actually, I'm sorry, Mike raised. Mike did raise. He made it 1,000. Wow, and this pot is quickly about $2,800 to the river. Mike's badly behind, and the river's an 8, and that changes nothing. And Amir's going to take this down. I don't think Amir's going to go anywhere. 2 pair, not against Mike.
1160.
And Mike bets $1,160 into the pot, and Amir calls with top 2 pair and takes it down. And Mike, in frustration, mucks his hand. Man, I tell you, if you limp in with aces and you don't get that raise and re-raise, you just don't want to go broke there. And suddenly that pot, another $2,200 on the river, we're talking about a $5,000 pot Amir took down. Those are $1,000 chips there. For those of you new to the game, the brownish orange chips are $10 chips. The white chips are $100 chips. That little greenish chip there is a $1,000 chip. The yellow chips we see on the left is a $5 chip. We don't really play with those too often here. And if you see a big purple chip, those are beautiful. Those are $5,000 chips. Pocket aces in seat 2 for Eugene on the button. And he makes it $100 to go on the button. And I got to tell you, I mean, I really do like Mike's game. Me and Bardo, we always argue about his game. But you can't limp in with aces, get 6 callers, and then go broke on the hand. You just can't do that. Just too easy for one of those 6 players to have 2 pair.
All right, 2 aces.
And Amir's going to call the aces again with king 10. Let's see if he can crack him again. And he hits a king, and let's see if Amir gets himself in trouble here.
200.
And it checks around to the button, and Eugene is going to bet 200. And Amir looks like he's going to raise it up, and he does. Wow.
3 more.
And he makes it 3 more. Wow, and he gets called by Eugene, and this pot is quickly $1,400. The turn is a deuce here, and Amir's going to need a king or a 10. He's in bad shape.
700.
And Eugene is going to bet 700. I think he correctly puts Amir on a king, and he's going to bet it. You don't think Amir's in there with king 9. That's kind of a weak holding to call a raise with. But maybe he's in there with king queen, king jack. Hey, who knows? He might even be in there with ace king. And Amir's really put to the test here. I mean, the pot is now 2,300. 700 to call. You know, and king 10 is great if you flop 2 pair or if you have a straight, but, you know, if you're in there with king 10 offsuit, especially in a raised pot, you got to be careful. 1 pair, top pair especially, is not often good. I mean, there are a lot of hands here Eugene could have that would be killing Amir. I mean, Eugene could have ace king, or Eugene could have, and Amir correctly throws it away. He took 1 shot at it by raising, find out he was behind, and he throws it away. Eugene takes down about a $2,300 pot.
Thanks.
I'm getting word here from Kev Meth on 2+2. A tuckgasm is just not as good as a Bartgasm. Sorry, guys. Apologize. I think Bart's got more pent up, gasm in him, so to speak. And pocket aces from Mike again in the small blind. And he's rebought here. I want to get wordy. I think he's rebought for $2,000.
That's raised.
And he's going to raise it here. Now you wonder here, if somebody has a real hand,
120 more.
might they put him on a steam here? And Bart throws his 6-8 away. He was in there for a second. He limped in. Thought maybe we'd see him. Wow, and Allen is calling here, folks, with king deuce of hearts. Abel calls with king 7, and Yassini on the button has jack 4. And the raise was how much? $120. We've got a $400 pot to the flop.
100 players.
Flop is 10-6-5. Misses everybody completely. Mike will probably take down this small pot. You know, and one of the things Doyle Brunson says in Super System 1, he says, you know, pocket aces, they usually win a small pot or they lose a big one. and Mike's had him twice. He loses $3,000 on one of them, and he wins about $600 on the other one.
But you wanna lose again? Thank you very much.
So we're waiting for your votes here, and it looks like I've got 5 already. Let's see what happens here. And with your guesses, I need to know how much
Live straddle.
how much they're going to win. And I don't need a big winner or I know how much they're going to win, just in case we have a tie. There we go. We get a live straddle in here from seat 7. And look at this pocket kings for Bart.
Raised to 140.
Wow, and seat 3 makes it 140 to go. Mike calls, and Bart, faced with a $140 raise, has 2 black kings, folks.
Raise.
And he announced the raise. Looks like he has something in his ear.
We raise up to 610.
And he makes it $610 to go, folks. He re-raises it to $610. So we got a $140 raise out of seat 3, a $140 call from Mike in a straddled pot, and Bart makes it $610 to go. And I don't think anybody's going to call this, and Bart's probably going to take down about $300 in dead money.
Had a very good hand.
Did you?
Very good hand.
Ace queen?
Up to 300, I would call it.
On the sixes?
No, it's just a good hand.
And Alan had a good hand, he said. I think he probably had like Jack 8 suited or something like that. Got an email here from Cody Ramad talking about playing backwards. And he says, hello, guys. Listen to last night's show. And then I mentioned the article in Card Player magazine about playing backwards. And he says the article is written by Lou Krieger from the April 2003 edition of Card Player. Thanks a lot. I do appreciate that. That's actually a great article. If any of you find that you might be playing backwards, check that article out, April 2003 in Card Player by Lou Krieger. Bart's got the button. $120 raise out of seat 3. That's Cassini. He's going to raise it up with 8-7 offsuit. And Abel calls with ace-deuce offsuit. And we got about a $250 pot. And Cassini's got nothing here. Abel checks his ace. And Yassini's going to bet. He bets $220, and Abel calls. And the pot is now about 700. Turns a queen, and Yassini is drawing dead. He cannot win this hand unless he gets Abel to fold. And I don't think Abel's folding. And Abel checks, and the action's to Yassini.
That was nice.
Rock and roll Yassini. And he's counting chips.
Okay, right?
Now, I'm not sure if he's familiar with Abel's play. Abel's not a player you really want to bluff. Let's see if he gets himself in trouble here.
So you pick on that. The ringer just had a little fire. And I butt-fucked 2 guys on the way over there today. Wow, that's pick on that.
240.
Oh. Lakers got 3 points in the third quarter.
And look at that. And Yassini bet 340, and Abel called. And the turn at a jack, and a check. Yassini gives up there. And wow, that pot was quickly. I mean, that pot turned into about a $1,500 pot that Yassini just bluffed away. And Abel takes it down with aces and jacks. The queen kicker, obviously your best 5 cards playing Hold'em. Bart and I have been playing a lot of No Limit lately, and I know Bart was really itching to get in this game, so we got him in there. I was actually playing a little 10-20 mix before, which is a lot of fun. Playing a little Badoogie and deuce to 7 triple draw.
Ugly start.
Button is in seat 6. Mike says ugly start. And it has been an ugly start for him. I mean, he quickly is down about $5,000 already. Flush over flush, and then he gets his aces cracked. And the votes are flooding in here, so please send in your votes. Your guesses, I suppose, actually.
Okay.
5 points.
Bart limps in here with 4 deuce of clubs.
Third quarter's almost over.
220.
And Abel's going to make it $220 to go with 5-6 of clubs.
What's the score now?
You know, in a game like this that's so crazy, I'm wondering if Bart is going to feel comfortable in a game like this. I know he said he was going to play a little ABC today.
The third quarter.
You know, I'm not sure if he wants to call big raises with kind of like hands like deuce 4 and stuff. And I think he's trying to figure out if he's got the enough money to make it worthwhile. Oh, nice shot, Isaac. I like that.
Yes, you know something.
And Bart's going to throw it away. And I like the lay down here.
Is this game live?
You know, against certain players, you can call with 4 deuce because you can specifically put that person on a big pocket pair. The CD calls, by the way, the pot is now
I just want
the pot is now about $600, $500. Flop is 8-3 deuce, couple of hearts.
Are we on or are we on?
And wow, and Yassini, look at that, and actually getting word. Abel bet $300. Yassini moved all in with the flush draw, and Abel threw away his 6 high. And Yassini takes it down.
I take leg.
All right.
But oftentimes what I was saying was, if you're going to call what's kind of a speculative holding like deuce 4 clubs, or you know, suited connector, or even a small pocket pair, you really want to know that your opponent has, you know, a big pocket pair.
5 points. What is that?
That's a dead blind.
Because obviously, if you're going to make any money off that, you have to hit your hand, and your opponent has to have a pretty good second best hand to pay you off.
9 points, they know something.
Oh, that's not going to do it.
He may lose with 8
Button is in
points.
seat 7.
$40, pots raised to 40.
Yassini makes it a $40 raise here.
Okay, $200 give me 3 points. 3 points.
And this is a wild game, folks. Abel, Mike,
5 players.
Barry,
And we're playing the fair game. I got jacks.
Wait, it's okay.
Ace 6-4, couple of hearts. Yassini is open-ended. He was a pre-flop raiser. And Allen has 2 pair.
120.
Allen checks his 2 pair, lets the raiser bet it. And Yassini follows through with that.
We get flush over flush. We'll have aces again.
And Mike's got Mike's got Jack 3. And he's thinking about it?
To the rub.
Or is he just looking to make a move here? I mean, it's one thing to make a move if there's 2 players in the pot or 3 players, but you've got 4 players behind you.
Where's the action?
The action's on Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry. The lack of action.
Oh, I guess Mike didn't know. I thought Mike was trying to make a move here.
This time we're
And let's see what Allen does here with 2 pair. Usually Allen shows strength when he has 2 pair or better.
This time I didn't know.
And sure enough, he's going to raise it up.
Can we have a little bell that we hit like in chest when Mike's turn?
Pot has been raised $400.
And Allen raises it up to $400 more, and Yassini calls, and the pot is quickly $1,000.
Heads up.
Turn is a queen of clubs. Changes nothing here. And
400.
Allen's not quite betting enough. He's not quite betting enough there. He bets 400. And the pot is now about 1,800. To the river here. Yassini is going to need an 8 or a 3. And a queen is not going to do it, but that is a terrible card for Allen here because his 2 pair is garbage. If Yassini was calling him with an ace, Yassini's got the best hand here. Let's see if Yassini can bet Allen off this. Queen is an awful card for Allen's hand here. Really, really awful. And let's see if Yassini's going to throw a bet in there. I mean, Allen can only beat a busted flush draw. That's it.
Check.
And Yassini, he checks behind him. And Allen's going to win this, obviously. Wow, and Allen's hand is almost garbage now, but he's got to win this. Woo. And Allen's got queens and 6s with an ace kicker. His 4 doesn't even play, folks. So to speak, he got counterfeited, I guess you could say.
I was betting right, but I mean,
Once again, we're live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Lines are 10 and 20.
that was just like
Minimum buy-in is $1,000, but we got a lot more money on the table. And if you're new here, I am doing the show alone tonight.
Thank you very much.
My usual co-commentator is in the game. Seat 5,
Don't
Bart,
ever do that again.
Okay.
the Bartster. Who's in the game. There he is.
Here, the big blind.
I got that. Bart's looking pretty good. I mean, I think Bart's lost like 20 pounds. He's eating so healthy.
If you bet, you take definitely.
I don't know what
He eats
you
like
had, but
steamed vegetables every single day now.
Even 400.
Ace-9 of clubs in the cutoff seat for, actually, Ace-9 of clubs on a button there for
Eight
Abel.
diamonds.
I'm sorry, for Amir.
yeah, I know. I haven't even. I need to open up my space and then I can do it.
And the votes are coming in. I'm going to just reiterate this. We've got about 20 minutes
5
left.
players here.
Button is in seat 8. Flop is 8, 7, 6. looking around here. Yassini with top pair.
50.
But Amir is going to bet with the open-ended straight draw when it gets checked to him. He bets $50. And Alan's going to call with second pair and a gut shot. Mo's got a monster here. Wow, Mo's flopped the straight. I'm sorry, folks. Wow, Mo has flopped the straight, and he has a redraw to the flush, and he hit this flush here. And, wow, Mo has got an open-ended straight flush draw. He's got the flush already. And Mo checks it around to Amir here, who has the straight now.
Pot's been raised.
And Mo's going to raise it up here. He makes it $600 to go. And Amir knows that Mo is capable of making the move, and he's going to call him. And the pot is now $1,800 to the river. Amir is drawing dead. The river's a king of diamonds.
5 more.
And Mo bets $500. Kind of a please call me bet. Look at that. Mo had flopped the straight. Turns the flush. And I think Amir is probably going to pay him off here. The pot is now $2,300. And he calls him.
Flush.
And a $2,800 pot is going to go to Mo here, showing the flush. We get an email here from Dave Jones. He says, how about showing the cards that Bart is folding? Well, I'll do my best. I can glance over and see what Bart is folding. So if I can see it, I'll let you guys know about it.
He would be rather probably stay with the straight. Yeah.
Small big.
It was more safer.
Get an email from Tom Martin. Thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate it. And pocket fives for Bart. Thank you, Isaac. Once again, we try to keep the show as interactive as possible, so do appreciate it. Wow, what a game so far. Button is in seat 9. Bunch of limpers. Bart is in there with pocket fives. He limped in.
Go and call back.
And Mo is going to call as well. And we're going to see this 6 ways, $120 pot to the flop. Queen 6-4. And Mike's got best hand here. He's got Queen Jack, but he checks it from up front. Wow, and you wonder why Mike is checking it. I guess he's going to look for the check raise here. Get a $150 bet out of Abel. And Mike's just going to call.
Heads up.
Abel's got ace-jack. Hearts there. Backdoor flush draw. Turns a 10, and Abel's now got outs. Abel needs a king or an ace to win this hand.
340.
And Abel's going to bet $340 into the pot. And the pot is now about $800. And Mike's going to raise it up.
To 800.
And he makes it $800 to go. It's back to Abel here. And Abel's picking a straight draw, and he's going to call. Wow. And Abel needs an ace or a king to win this pot. And this pot is now $2,200, folks. And the river's a deuce of clubs. Doesn't change anything. And Mike has Queen Jack, by the way, folks. No, I'm sorry. It's Queen Queen. You're right. Wow, he's flopped a set of queens there. I glanced over there. I saw Queen Jack, and it was actually Queen Queen. Queen Jack would have got it done also, obviously, but it just makes Mike a little more sure about his bets. Well, I said Queen Jack, and I think Ronnie looked at it about 3 times to make sure it was actually Queen Queen.
Live shallow. That's what I was waiting for.
What the hell are you looking at, Tuckman? Come
Last
on.
time I picked up aces.
Wake up. And Mike takes down about a $2,400 pot there.
All right, let's see a flop.
Okay, we got 4 players, man.
4-way action. Flop is 9-8, 7-6, sorry. Rainbow.
80.
And Mike is going to bet his, actually Yassini bet top pair. Mike
4
calls.
points now, the Lakers are.
And Amir's got top pair, plus he's open-ended. Yassini is the best hand right now, though.
Pot has been raised.
And Amir's going to raise it up.
380.
Wow. And he said, enough of this $80 bet garbage. I'm going to make it 380. And that's probably going to take it down. And Amir takes it down.
Take it down, Amir.
Once again, we are giving away 2 complimentary meals to the HT Grill in Redondo Beach, California. And what we're asking you, the viewer, is to guess who will walk away with the most money or lose the most money. Email us at liveatthebike.com with who you think will win or lose the most money and how much you think they're going to lose. The pick closest to the result at the end of the show will win a meal as well as the player. So please write your guess. And we're going to close the offers at 8 o'clock p.m. sharp. So get them in, liveatthebike.com. Pocket 10s for Abel in seat 7, but Barry's actually going to raise with 6-5 offsuit.
I need him.
Abel calls.
Looking out for Gray.
Wayne. Wayne.
And we're going to see this 4 ways times $80. We got about a $320 pot for the flop. Jack, 8-4. And nobody has a jack.
200.
Abel's hand is still the best hand.
Thank you very much.
And looked like Mike actually bet his 8 there. He bet second pair. And Barry calls here. He's got a gut shot. He needs a 7 for the straight.
Pot's been raised to
Wow,
5.
and Abel's going to raise it up, makes it 500 to go. And is he all in? And he's all in for $500. So the pot is now about $1,300, 300 to call. Now what Mike's got to think about here is would Abel make this play with 9-10 or with spades? And he's going to call this. And obviously Barry cannot call it 6 high. I think he was going to try to make a move on Mike. Pot is now $1,600. They're all in. Turn is a 7. Wow, Barry would have gotten there. River's a king. That doesn't change anything. And Abel's going to take this down. And Barry would have won with 5-6, but he folded. Got a little latent groan there from Barry. I got some really exciting news for next week's show, actually. Next Wednesday's Whale Game, our Wednesday show, which is our 25-50 no-limit game, we are getting the World Series of Poker champion, Joseph Hashem. He's coming down and he's going to play in the game. So that's next Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. No limit hold'em, $3,000 minimum buy-in, no unrestricted though. 25-50 blinds, we are getting the World Series of Poker champion, Joseph Hashem, in the game. So don't miss that one. Limped around 5 ways, $100 pot.
5 players.
Ace, Queen, 6 rainbow. And Eugene's going to bet second pair here. Gets checked around him to the cutoff seat. He's going to take a shot. Well, and Eugene's going to call with pocket deuces.
Okay, we're heads up for 80.
Man. Turns a king. Heads up here. Eugene's going to check it. And let's see if Eugenio uses his position to take it away.
220.
And he's going to bet $220 into about a $550 pot. A little under half the pot. And Eugene's really in a tough. Eugene's in a tough spot here. He bet the flop and he gets called by the button. You know, what can you beat really? You know, there wasn't really much of a draw on the flop, so you've almost got to put your opponent on a queen or a 6. And if he's got a queen, it's probably higher than yours. River would have been a 7, wouldn't have changed anything, but it's really tough, out of position with a weak queen there. Bart usually drinks his Miller Lite while he's playing, but I guess this game he's not going to drink it. Bart's got Jack 4 of clubs, folks. Little update, he's in the small blind. Actually, he bought the button, I'm sorry. Buying the button is if you miss the blind, you can actually pay $10 and $20, pay the small and big blind, and you're the only blind, but you get the button next hand. And it limps around here.
5 players.
5 ways, $100 pot. Ace, Jack, 5. Bart's got second pair. He actually has, no, the second best hand. I'm sorry, Mo's got Ace, 9. No, Mo's not in the hand, though. So Jack 4 is the best hand right now.
70.
And Bart checked the flop and got checked around. And he checks the turn as well, and he's not going to get involved with Jack 4. Nice steal by Yassini here at 10-7. That's where Bart and I actually differ. Oftentimes in an unraised pot, I will fire with Jack 4 there, right away in the flop, see where I'm at. If nobody has anything, okay, so be it. I don't get called. I pick the pot up. If I get called, I'm usually done with it. It works for me because I will also bet my big hands right out. If I make trips, I will bet them as well. So it's difficult to tell where I'm at. Bart, I know, likes to play it a little more conservative with a hand like that. Jack 4, he's just not going to get involved. And in the end, I mean, he's a big favorite of picking your spots, which obviously is not a bad way to play. No limit hold'em. You don't have to win very many hands to make a lot of money. Bart with 10-4 of hearts this time, and he's not going to play. And it gets chopped around there. About 15 minutes left to vote for who will win or lose the most money and how much. And dinner and Redondo Beat at HT Grill is up for grabs, folks. Button is in seat 6. That's Barry.
80.
And Mike's going to raise in late position. He's going to make it $80 to go with 5-4. And Bart's going to call this with pocket deuces.
3 players.
Now, once again, you like calling with deuces because you got implied odds, but when Mike is raising, you're not quite sure what he's got. He could have anything. Not very good flop for deuces, though. The flop comes out ace, 9, 8. It gets checked around to Mike. He's going to bet with 4-5 and take it down. Bart actually had the best hand, but hard for him to know that. So once again, we are giving away 2 complimentary meals to the HT Grill in Redondo Beach, California. The meals have been donated by the grill, where they have great food plus room to throw your next big bash. Getting word they are owned by the same management team as Hennessy's, so you know their reputation is solid. Wow, they got a really good Super Bowl Sunday party here. You can eat prime rib, an open bar, and you get a 1 square in the football pool for a chance to win $4,000. Wow, and you can bring a friend for $50 more. So for $150, I get an open bar and all I can eat prime rib. Wow. Forget my house. I'm going HT Grill.
280.
Wow, we get an $80 raise from Yassini, and then a re-raise to 280 from Mike. And you guys see the hands. Heads up here. Mike's got position on Yassini as well. And they both miss. Imagine power position here. Mike will probably take it away. Yassini checks. And Mike's going to bet. And he bets $370 into actually $390, sorry. Into about a $500 pot. Actually, closer to a $600 pot. But Yassini's completely missed this flop here. He's got ace-jack of clubs. No pair, no draw. And he gets rid of it. Oh, and there's our first chip count, folks. Mo with $6,000 in the lead there. He doubled up right away. Eugene, $5,600. Wow. He only bought in for, I want to say, $1,500. Maybe $2,000. Abel with $1,600, bringing up the rear, and that's his second buy-in, I would say. Mike, he's just getting his ass reamed tonight. I mean, he's already lost $5,000.
Oh, this here, just for you.
Button is in seat 8. Live straddle from Eugene. And it's a straddled pot, but we get 5 people in the pot. Actually 6, I'm sorry. So it's $240 to the flop. Jack 7-6. Barry with top pair.
Yeah.
Nobody else has much of anything. Can you imagine if Barry throws a bet in there, he'll probably take it down.
60.
160.
You got a 7, Bear? Shit. Can you see these cards?
Well, Mike asked him if he has a 7, but Mike's got nothing.
8 of spades.
You can see camera to camera. When you look down here,
Deciding whether or not I believe that
I can see your card.
because that will change my.
And I'm trying to see what's going on here. Barry's bet. Eugene's got second pair with no kicker. I'm not quite sure what he's thinking about, and he throws it away, and Barry takes it down.
I already had a hand, thank you. Thank you, Bear. You can watch the internet.
I was gonna get involved with you, Barry, but
Straddle here.
Please, I'm already very good. I think Mike swings that
So
way.
spread the word, folks. Next Wednesday, we have the World Series of Poker World Champion, Joseph Hashim,
you're gonna break me in half.
at the bike. And he's going to be playing in the 25-50 no-limit cash game.
My lower straight to a low.
Unrestricted buy-in. The game should be great. That's next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Spread the word.
The live straddle.
Live straddle here. That is a live straddle from Yassini. Bart folded. I think he had 8 high. Four players, $160 pot. Flop of Queen 9-10, sorry.
Pop, right there, man.
And Mike's got top pair, and he's going to bet it.
160.
And Mike bets 160 with top pair. I don't think anybody can call this. Nobody's got a jack.
Heads up.
And there we go. Seat 2 actually called. Eugene called it second pair. And look at that. The turns are 3, and Eugene makes 2 pair. Man. Wow, he's in there. He actually calls Mike with 10-3, and he makes 2 pair. And you know what? You wonder if Mike can just get rid of this right now. I mean, when Eugene calls you, you got to put Eugene on something. You know, Mike's only got top pair with kind of a weakish kicker here. He's got no redraw. If a jack comes, he has a straight, but, you know, any king would be a higher straight. But Mike's going to call anyway. What do I know? And the river's an ace, and that doesn't change anything. Let's see if Eugene puts a little value bet on the river, or if he checks it down. Action is on Eugene. Pot is about $2,000. And look at this. It looks like he's going to put a value bet in there. Either a value bet or maybe like a little blocker bet. He doesn't want to face a big bet. And he bets 800 into about an $1,800 pot. And what can Mike beat? I mean, I'm trying to think of a draw the guy might have that he missed. I mean, Mike bet the flop and Eugene called. I mean, if you're betting there, I'm trying to think. I mean, if the guy had King Jack, he's already there. Yeah, and Mike throws it away, I think. I just don't see a hand that Mike can beat. And Eugene takes down about a $2,500 pot there. Got a special guest in the booth with me tonight. One of the players you guys all know. We call him Midnight. And here he is. Hav, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How's it going, Dave?
Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Are you disappointed you're not in the game?
You know, it looks like a good game. You got a good
Oh,
lineup.
it's juicy. It's a
It
great
looks really
game.
good. You got Mike, you got Alan, Eugene. I've played with a couple times.
Right.
So yes, it does look like a good lineup.
Well, good. I was excited. We got Bart in the game.
I see
wanted,
that.
Yeah, I wanted to get you in here and get some insight because I know you play in this game a lot.
Right.
Get some a little fresh face and fresh voice in here.
Happy to offer it.
Cool. Well, great. We get a live straddle from Mike.
That's a
Surprise, surprise, right?
Big surprise there.
Oftentimes when Mike straddles, big hands will limp in expecting Mike to raise.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if Mike's going to raise this one, though, with
That's
King
raised.
Deuce. Well, what do I know? But sure enough, he's going to raise it up.
Well,
He
I
makes-
think you've seen Mike a lot of the times when he does have a big hand. He likes to limp with those and slow play those. And then more often than not, when he doesn't have anything, he likes to bump it up.
Yeah, well, we saw earlier he limped in with aces, and he got cracked. Amir made 2 pair, and he lost his whole stack to Amir.
Oh, man. Is that the King 8 hand?
There was
Yeah,
it was
aces,
King 10.
King 10.
King 10 versus aces. And Mike makes it $300 more. Amir calls, and Yassini calls with 4 or 5 spades, and we've got about a $1,200 pot.
Wow. Well,
Wow.
nobody hit anything.
Nobody hit anything. Let's see if Mike can take this away with a big bet on the flop.
800.
I think that should be enough.
Yeah, well, he bets 800. I mean, everybody's missed this. You know, and you know Mike can bet with nothing, but can you call with ace check?
You know, Amir might. No, guess not. But they have a little history over the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
so,
they do.
So I wouldn't have been absolutely surprised if he would have given that a call, or maybe even come over the top. But
Make a move on him.
absolutely.
Yeah, he had
But
a
Mike
gut
didn't
shot
have
straight
much
draw.
left. He only had another. Looks like another $800. So.
Right, not much fold equity. If you come over the top, Mike's pretty much pot committed.
Absolutely.
If he's got anything even decent.
Absolutely.
Try to keep the show as interactive as possible. And while we've got Hav in the booth, if you have any email questions for him, you know,
Bring it on.
bring it on. Email us at liveatthebike.com. And if you have any questions for him, ask away. We're actually giving away dinner to whoever can guess the biggest winner or biggest loser and guess how much they win or lose. The closest person gets dinner at the HT Grill in Redondo
Nice.
Beach.
Nice.
Plus whoever they guess actually gets dinner as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so who would you guess here would win and lose the most?
Oh, let me see here.
4 players.
You know, Mo's always a good bet.
Yeah, 4 players here. Small little raise, $160 pot.
And what do we got?
King 9-7 flop here. Yassini is open-ended. Backdoor flush draw.
I've never seen Yassini.
Yeah, he's new to the game.
Okay.
Is it all of us or just?
Mo calls with a gut
Good
shot.
shot.
Yeah. Backdoor hearts.
She was yanking.
Turns a 9, and Yassini now is open-ended with a flush draw.
Yeah, absolutely. He should make a bet here. And he does.
Yeah, he's going to bet, and I think Mo's probably going to go away now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Funny enough.
I don't know if he's seen Yassini play or not, so I don't know if Mo really knows him as a player, but that's pretty easy laid down.
Well, look at this. We've got a lot of emails in here.
We take Visa. Thank you, sir.
We've got this funny here. Niels Vanderliden wants to know if I'm wearing Mike's shirt.
Nice.
Gentlemen, thank you all very much. Good luck.
Well,
Get an
I've seen
email here
Mike's
from-
closet, and he has a lot of shirts in there, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you can go over there and pick one up.
You've been to Mike's house?
I have, actually.
Really?
Nice guy, yeah.
Wow.
We played some basketball today, actually.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Try to get a little sweat before live at the bike, you know.
Well, actually, I like Mike a lot. I mean, I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's good for the game, too.
Yeah, and he's a gambler. He's having fun. But, I mean, just in terms of being a nice guy, he really
He is. He's a really nice guy. When I first met him, you know, I wasn't quite sure, and he had that really shiny dome and all that, but he is a nice guy. Yassini has the button.
Barry raises it up. First position with ace-jack of hearts. And Alan's going to call it 6-4 of hearts. He's badly dominated.
Very dominated. Well, let's see what happens here if Barry doesn't hit the flop. As we all know, Barry likes to continue, make a continuation bet.
And Yassini's going to call this with King 6 of clubs. And Mike's going to call with Queen 7 of clubs.
Nice. Wide array of hands here.
Yeah, and Eugene is not in there with King Queen of spades. Wow.
Mucked it.
Yeah, and look at this flop here. 7, deuce, 4, a couple of diamonds.
Right.
Alan actually has the best hand. No, I'm sorry. Mike's at the top pair.
Yeah.
Queen 7.
240.
And there's the continuation bet by Barry.
Yeah, you said he was going to make that one.
Absolutely.
But if you're Mike, can you really be sure that Barry doesn't have pocket nines, pocket tens, pocket jacks here?
You know, they have an interesting dynamic as well. And sometimes they like to mix it up just because.
Right.
Whether, try to outplay each other whether they hit or not. And I think Mike knows that about Barry.
Right.
He likes to continue his bets. And now, Alan called as well, right?
Alan called the second pair, backdoor flush draw.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a kind of like a runner straight draw possibility, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Well, that backdoor flush draw would be.
And did
dead to
Mike
Barry.
actually raise?
He did.
What did he raise to?
Um,
Trying to get or make it 500.
He
Raise it
raised
to $600, and that'll probably take it down.
Absolutely, that's a good raise.
Oh, yeah, small blind. Late seven.
Now the question I have for Mike is now I like the raise here. He gets the information, but if Barry comes over the top with him, is Mike going to get rid of it?
I think he probably lays it down. But like I was saying, I think Mike knows the type of player Barry is. He makes a raise in first position and then comes out flying again, and
Regardless of what the flop is.
regardless of what the flop is. I think Mike picked up on that. And
It must be interesting for you to be in this side of the booth now.
yeah, you know what? It is really interesting because you kind of know how the players play, but
Yeah.
to actually see the hands all the way around
Yeah.
makes it really interesting.
Get a live straddle here from Abel, seat 7. And Amir's got queens.
Well, let's see what he does. He just called.
He just smooth calls in first position. I think he's hoping for a raise from Mike or somebody else.
Right. Well, which is not a bad bet.
And Bart's got king 10 offsuit, and he's not going to get
He lays
involved
it down. That's a good lay.
in the small blinds.
It's a good lay down. He's under the gun. What do? You hit your 10.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not just $10 more. It's actually $30 more.
Absolutely.
King 10 offsuit is not a hand you really want to play out of position.
Absolutely not. Well, Alan outflops.
Yeah, but
Amir.
look at Barry, though. Barry's got top 2.
Yeah. Well, let's see what he does with this.
Yeah, Amir does have the queen of spades.
He does have a redraw.
Now, the one thing you wonder is, okay, you limp in, you're hoping for the re-raise. You don't get it, right? Can't you just get away from it?
You can, but about a week ago, actually, we played After Live at the Bike, if you remember, last Friday or
Yeah.
2 Fridays ago. And actually, Mike and Amir got into a confrontation similar to this. And Amir felt that he was priced in, well, which he really wasn't, but by the end, flop was similar to this, all hearts.
Turn to
And-
king here. It
Yeah,
gets
it's-
worse and worse for Amir.
Yeah, it gets bad. But it was very similar to this, and he had a redraw, and he actually hit his redraw. And he was in there, they were each in there for about $4,500. So,
Man.
who knows? Maybe he's thinking back to that hand, and
I mean, the only problem with this is you get 7 players in the pot. How do you know you're in drawing to the nuts here? I mean, couldn't Barry have the king of spades in his hand?
Absolutely.
Actually, I mean, couldn't Barry actually have bet a king of spades and now hit his king?
even hit a top pair and had the king of spades. You never know. Maybe he's hit 2 pairs. There's so many hands out there.
Well, when you got a limped pot, anybody can have anything. You know?
Absolutely.
But I mean, would Barry bet the king of spades? Let's say he had king 4 with the king of spades. Might he bet that?
I think he would. I really do, because Barry's been mixing it up lately. He's when he makes his hand, he bets him. When he doesn't make his hand, he's been betting him. So
it's one of those things where if he was betting his ace, you're behind, and if he was betting his king of spades, well, now you're behind also.
absolutely. I mean, what can you really beat if he does have that king?
But he calls, and the pot is now $2,000,
Oh wow, and he missed.
and the river's the deuce of clubs. And I'd like to see a little value bet here by Barry. You've got to know your hand is good,
Yes, absolutely. I think he'll make a bet.
and he does.
And I think this is an easy lay down for Amir. He'll Hollywood it a little bit, and
Okay, Mike, 200.
there it goes.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to go for a draw. If I've got 2 kings and the king of spades, okay, a little different.
Absolutely, you have a redraw but
I'm redrawing to the nuts.
to the nut.
We see it all the time where people are drawing, and they've almost got reverse implied odds because they're drawing to the second nuts, and if
Yeah.
they hit it, they're going to go broke.
Yeah, you don't know if it's good. Absolutely.
Live straddle.
620.
They were 9.5 point favorites.
And there goes Mike talking about the Lakers. And he loses to Mo again. That's 3 weeks in a row that he's bet the Lakers, and Mo is taking the other team.
Bart is on the button, folks. It's a live straddle for seat 8. And I got to tell you, Bart usually doesn't play this big a game, and with everybody straddling it, the game becomes even bigger. It almost becomes like a 20-40 game.
Absolutely.
You know, it might be a little bit out of Bart's comp.
Yeah, I don't know. Has
comfort
Bart ever
level.
played this level game before?
He has played 10-20, but he usually plays the 5-10 game.
Right.
He if I lose, I'm gonna give you
Now, is that a mirror raising?
Now it's 6.
Mike actually raised with
well,
ace 4.
Surprise, surprise. That's like pocket aces to Mike.
2, 4, 7, 20.
And flop is 10-8-4 there. Amir's flop top pair.
And you know, I've seen Alan give a call, even to a bet here, but they check around.
Okay.
And the one thing we like to see about Alan, if Alan's calling, okay. If he's raising, though, get away.
Trouble.
And it checks around here, and Amir's got to know he's probably good here.
Yeah, he's got to think he's good.
He's got about $600 into about a $1,000 pot.
And I think Alan's probably going to muck this hand. That's a good bet, actually, by Amir. He picked up, everybody checked, showed a lot of weakness on that.
Yeah. But it's tough for Alan, though, because you got to think, okay, is Amir betting some sort of diamond draw now?
Right, because the diamond got there on the turn.
Right,
yeah.
or is Amir just betting, just trying to pick it up?
Don't worry
He
about me,
calls.
Alan.
And Alan's going to call this. Wow.
You're
Pot's 2,000 now.
It's good. And Mike says, don't worry about me, Alan, I'm behind you. Wow.
The river's a deuce. That changes nothing.
No.
And Amir's going to put a little $500 value bet in there.
That's a good bet. It's a good size bet.
And let's see if Alan's going to call here. This is Alan's weakness. Tends to call too much with his draws, and calls too much with second best hands.
Yeah. Well, he does call.
He's going to call this, and wow, Amir takes down about a $3,000 pot.
I like that bet on the end, too. That's a great bet.
Yeah. I was
That's
actually
a nice
playing
spot.
in a game last night with Jay and Corporation Mike.
Oh, Mike told me about that game.
Interesting game.
He told me about it. He said it was
I was in a
pretty
hand
good.
with him and Jay at one point, where Jay is betting and Mike is calling, and I've got quads.
And Mike is betting and Jay is calling?
Jay is betting, Mike calls, and I'm looking down at quads.
And you're looking around like I have no idea what's going on.
Right, I'm sitting there going, I'm all thinking is, how do I possibly play this? I mean, how do I possibly get as much money as I
How can
possibly
I
can?
extract the most money?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably not too tough with Mike betting and Jay calling, because Jay's usually going to call draws and.
Yeah. Well, the flop was like, the board is like Jack, Jack, Jack 3.
Oh
So it's not really draw heavy.
no. Well, I've seen Jay call that down with just an ace high before, so.
Yeah. Yeah, Jay was actually on his game last night.
Was he?
For Jay, I mean, he's really playing pretty good.
He goes on different spurts. Sometimes he'll play really tight and well or aggressive, and then sometimes he's just.
Yeah, he took a bad beat and started steaming off, and then he actually won a big pot, and he kind of settled himself down.
Make it
That'll do
70.
it. Take a
And
bad
obviously, want to catch him while he's tilting.
50 more?
beat. So who raised here? Was that Mike raising?
It's actually Abel raising with Jack 9 of spades. What do you think of Abel's play?
You know, I've played with Abel a few times, and I've seen him make some really interesting calls. But, you know, overall, I think he falls along the lines of our old friend Jesus, who we
Okay.
haven't seen around for a while, but
Right.
they have very similar games. Oh, well, look at this now. Abel got there with a jack.
Uh-oh, but Yassini
But
is
that
now
makes-
backed into the straight.
And how much is Abel going to pay him off here, though?
Yeah, now, Yassini does not have much money left, and I imagine, yeah.
I'm staying away from you.
Yassini moves all in and Abel calls.
Absolutely.
Trying to figure out, let's get word of how much money that is. Wow, Queen on the river. You got to hate Jack 9 now.
Did you have a 7 or you had a
Are
queen?
those 200 each?
I had 10-7 when he said that you had the 8 of spades.
Well, Yassini's going to take
no,
a
no,
stand.
no, yeah.
Verify it.
Jack 8, right?
And we're getting word that Yassini had 700.
Either 8-7,
Abel had him covered.
I'm like,
670?
And Yassini actually 670. And Yassini's going to win about a $2,000 pot there.
That's a good size spot. Absolutely. Well, that turn card
he said 8 of spades.
made Yassini's hand. And Abel was good with the 9. Hit the gut shot.
Now, we got interesting email. The first one was here. We got an email from Chris Rowerig. Said, guess on winnings. He says, I think Bart will win $1,480. Go Bart, Chris. Then we got Chris comes back and goes, actually, can I change my vote? Bart is a wuss. Is a wuss. I say Mike will lose $4,800.
Now, that's not a bad bet either.
I think Bart might win $1,400. He's probably
I
up
bet
a
you
couple
could.
hundred tonight.
Well, you know the great thing about this game is you really only need 1 or 2 hands, regardless of if you're going to be a really tight player or not. You know, you double up one time and boom in this game. So
Right. We're trying to say no limit hold'em. Now you can subscribe to the theory of Mike, where you play almost every single hand and you're mixing it up, and obviously Mike will get paid off. But we also see a lot of successful players, you being one of them, that you don't necessarily need to play that many hands.
No, you don't. Not in a game of this level. You know, you can mix it up every now and again, but you really don't. You can almost play this game straightforward and be a consistent winner.
230.
I just want to see a flop.
Is that Abel raises? Huh?
Yeah, there was a mini raise. A mini raise in seat number 2. Actually, seat 3, I'm sorry, with King Jack of Diamonds.
Okay.
And Abel has re-raised it up with 7-5. And now Bart is faced with the question. He had put in the original $80 bet, and now he's got to wonder, do I want to put in 200 more?
Well, I think he has odds if he wants to get involved. You got a call from Eugene, who's badly dominated by Yacine.
And obviously with a hand like 10-9, okay, what kind of flop do you want to see? And Bart does not call.
That's probably a good lay down,
Is
too.
all in.
You know, I mean,
Obviously you're not looking for a 10, right?
no, I mean, you know, you hope you hit that miracle straight on the flop, and you're on the top end, not the ignorant end. But
Flop is all hearts, by the way. Queen 8-3 of hearts here. Mike with top pair. He actually has top pair plus the highest flush
and a
draw.
redraw, yeah,
And he's going to bet $600 into about a $1,000 pot.
and that should take it down.
Wow.
Oh, somebody all in?
Yeah, Abel was all in.
Oh, Abel's all in.
Abel had moved all in pre-flop, actually, for $240.
Wow.
And Abel had the 7 of hearts. The turn actually was a heart, but Mike's going to take it down. Mike makes the straight and the flush.
And the flush.
Takes it off.
Working on a straight flush there.
And like that, takes down about a $1,600 pot, and Abel is broke again. Looks like he's reaching into his pocket for more money, though. That's always a good sign.
This is third time buying it. Abel's great for the game, too. I mean, he'll have some really big nights where he'll take it down a lot.
Yeah, we've actually we saw Avo pay him off to the tune of about $8,000.
Oh, wow.
I want to say maybe 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And Avo called him down with a pair of threes the whole way.
You know, actually, I was in that game.
Oh,
I
you remember that one?
I remember that, and I was sitting next to Avo that night, and I asked him, really, wow, pair of threes, and he said, you know, I really just wanted to see his hand, is what he told me, and I guess, okay, I guess if you want to pay $3,000 to...
Bart makes it $80 to go with 10-7 suited here. And Amir's going to call with his pocket sixes. Now, Bart's got to respect the table. Notice how he only gets one caller.
Yeah,
you know, Mike raises to $80. The entire table calls.
You got 6 callers. That's a good continuation bet.
Yeah, and Bart's going to make a continuation bet, and I don't think Amir's going to get involved, and Bart takes it down.
That's a nice bet by Bart.
Yep. Use your image, right?
Absolutely. Using the strength of his play at the table. Not playing a lot of hands, comes in for a raise, continues, overcards to the pair, easy laydown.
We always try to point out that it's really important, obviously, when you're sitting at a table, not only knowing what your image is, but knowing how the other players see you.
How the players view you at the table. Absolutely. That's a huge component of the game.
So how long have you been playing No Limit Hold'em now?
You know, I've been playing No Limit since probably last March or April. I can't say too long, but...
Wow, I mean, that's a real short time, not even a year.
No, not even
And your game is obviously real good.
It can be, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah. Limped around here.
6 players.
6 ways, $120 to the flop.
And Allen's on the button.
8-5-5, couple of spades out there. And Amir's got the nut flush draw.
And who's had to hit the
yeah, but Abel's got the 5.
Trips.
And Abel's rebought. I want to say Abel rebought for about $2,000.
You know, I think I'd like to see a raise here from Abel. You have a somewhat connected board.
Now, if a Queen of Spades comes out, you wonder how much money Abel's going to make.
Yeah.
Turn is a 10. Mike is still in there, too, with Jack 10.
And he's going to bet.
Wow.
220.
When you talk about reverse implied odds, I mean, you call a flop with Jack 10. I mean, you got no pair, no draw.
Okay,
you hit a pair now, you know.
Very good.
And look at it, and Abel's still going to just slow play this.
And Amir's in there as well. Enough flush draw.
And then we come with...
The river's a 3 of diamonds. And that doesn't change anything here, and Abel's going to put a little value bet in there now.
6.
But now he's not going to get called.
No. I think he could have made a little more money off this hand, too, if he would have raised one time. Maybe re-raised Mike on the turn.
Yeah,
wow,
Mike calls.
gives him a call.
Mike's going to call that, and Abel takes it down. About a $2,200 pot there.
Wow.
The only thing now is if Abel raises the turn, or even raises the flop, you know you're not going to lose Amir.
No, you're not, because he's on the nut flush draw. So, and the pot had been big enough where I think he could have, even if he would have made the minimum raise, I think he would have got both callers.
Yeah.
Mike's not getting away from top pair, and Amir's on the nut flush draw. But there's two schools of playing it.
Yeah. So this is how we keep in touch with our viewers, obviously, try to keep the show as interactive as possible. We've got all these emailers, plus we check out our 2+2 form, where, if our computer ever pops it up here, Bart's got ace-king, by the way, in kind of middle position,
Oh yeah.
but he's just going to limp. How do you play ace-king from
You know
kind of
what?
early position?
That's a tough one. I don't like to raise ace king early.
You don't? Okay.
Because you give away the strength of your hand. It's just such a tough hand.
I mean, what do you do if you get 4 or 5 callers, flop comes out, say, king, 10, 4? How do you know where you're at?
I'll make a bet to see where I stand. If I'm getting, if I get re-raised, it all depends on the way the action goes and who it is at the table. I mean, that has a lot to do with, who's betting at the table and, like we were talking about earlier, table image, and that has a lot to do with how you play a specific hand, but I don't like when I get 4 callers with ace king.
Right, of course. Mike bet the flop. He was open-ended, and he turned the straight.
And he
wow.
hit it.
And you wonder if Yassini's going to get in trouble here.
Gives him a queen with a gut shot as well.
Yep.
And he's going to get, look at this.
And he's going to raise him.
And look at Mike. Oh, gosh, I hate this hand, he says.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Oh, man, what do I do with the nuts?
What am I going to do?
And Yassini is drawing dead to a chop here. He needs a 10 to chop the pot.
Needs a 10.
Oh, and he just calls. How do you just call that? I mean, I got to tell you, I think a raise there is in order.
I think so, too.
By just calling, an action killer comes off.
And that kills Yassini.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. And Mike goes all in.
500 all in.
Yeah.
Wow, he made a $500 bet.
500 on the river. Mike moves all in with the nuts.
And there was a $500 bet on the turn, so it's close to, what, 2,000 in the pot?
Yeah.
And he lays it down.
Yeah, he gets away from it. Wow, he only had about 600 left.
Well,
interesting way to play the hand.
I really thought that river was going to be an action killer, but
It makes it look so easy.
got another 500 out of it.
Yeah, it often is. I mean, sometimes I hate to. I like to push my hands because you never know. Some people say, well, you push your hands because you don't want to get a bad beat.
Right.
I like to push my hands because you don't want that action killer to come off.
Absolutely, and you never know what type of draw. I mean, they might be drawing dead, and you can get more value out of it on the turn if you actually bet your hand.
80.
Once again, we're live at the bike here. I'm David Tuckman here with Hob.
Yeah, I do.
That's me.
Yeah, we like to call him Midnight here. We got another special guest in the booth here. We've got George Georgian, the Greek poker god, folks. Fresh out of Greece here. I think he's licking his chops to try to
Kid in this game, huh?
Yeah, well, he wants to get in the game, and I think he probably wants to get a piece of Bart. But Bart's not playing any hands anyway, so
Yeah, I think Bart's played 2 hands, but yeah, he did make a nice play with that 10-7 of diamonds.
flop ace 4-4 here.
And looks like seat 4.
Oh, this is trouble here. He's got history. Mike's got 4-3, by the way. He has trip 4s, and Barry's got queen 4.
Well, they're going to get their money in on this.
Oh, this is fireworks.
And look at Abel.
With top pair, hey. It's a monster for Abel, huh?
Monster kicker, too.
And Allen's in there with queen deuce. She's got the flush draw.
Wow.
Raise.
And a raise here from Mike.
And look at Barry now.
6.
And wow, Mike makes it $600 to go, and Barry and Mike are really deep,
They're
folks.
deep.
Oh, this could get ugly for Mike.
I think you'll probably just see a smooth call here from Barry.
And no,
He announced
he's going to
raise.
raise it.
I like that play. You got diamonds on the board.
Play it fast.
Absolutely.
2,000 more,
And
folks.
there's no way Mike's going to get away from this.
And we're getting word this pot now is 630. This pot is 4,000. 2,000 to call.
Just like that.
Now, Mike obviously has
Alan,
an
what's
out.
Alan thinking about it? I think he's going to get away from this hand, Dave, but
You think?
yeah, I don't know sometimes.
Alan loves to.
Yeah.
He loves to torture this.
Yeah.
And Alan loves that little dance and smile and then throw his hearts
Well,
away.
that smile will come here in a second. He's going to think about it, smile, look at his hand one more time, and muck.
Yeah, this is one of those ones that tortures him, though. He goes, I can't lay it down, though. I got a flush draw.
Right.
But I think for $2,000, obviously, he's going to lay this down. The pot is $4,000, folks. $2,000 to call.
Well, I don't think there's any way.
Turn
Alan
off your
can
internet game. We got action here. Mike versus Barry. And I want to see how much money Mike has behind him. Mike got $4,000
Oh,
more.
well, I think
And Barry has him covered.
unless Mike pops a 3 here, or an ace comes off, he's going to go broke on this.
Yeah, Mike obviously can catch an ace to chop the pot or a 3 to win the pot.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bet that much on the full house.
Wow. Well, is Alan giving this serious thought?
Yeah, you know, when he gets 2 players in there, sometimes he just gets, you know, kind of never wants to lay down because it's a big pot.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, it's almost all his money.
You know, I don't think he can just call this. I think he has to push if he plays his hand, but he's going to get away from it.
With a paired board out there? I mean, you know, if it's not a paired board and I've got the nuts, have I got the king of diamonds?
Not only that, but you got, what, 7 people in there pre-flop? I mean, you think somebody might have hit?
Yeah, obviously.
Now they are talking.
And obviously the 3 of diamonds would do Alan no good. And the queen of diamonds, well, the queen of diamonds is in Alan's hand.
Right.
So Alan's only got 8 outs, and the other players have redrawn.
Well, he's given this some serious thought. And he lays it down. That's a good lay down by Alan. Well, I think it's an automatic lay down. Oh, there
Mike
it goes.
moves all in. Barry's going to call. Wow, and this pot is $8,000. This pot's, I want to say this pot's $12,000.
And I don't think I think they're just going to go.
Yeah, I don't think they're running it more than once, folks. This is a $12,000 pot. Oh, wow, man, what a lucky jack. Running jacks there. And
Look
Mike
at
is going
Barry.
to chop it up.
Look at Barry.
And they each take their money back.
Just can't believe it.
Oh, man.
Both of them salivating at the mouth.
Oh, man, I swear. I mean, Barry had Mike's nuts on the chopping block. And he left him there.
And you know, like I was saying, they have some history. Last week, they got involved in a couple of huge pots, about 18 to 20 grand.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
Barry got the best of Mike. So I know Mike was thinking he was going to hit him back here, but what a river.
I mean, I got to tell you, you don't think Mike overplayed the hand there. I actually like Mike's game, but trips are so vulnerable. I mean, good players, you see good players laying down trips, especially with a kicker like a 3. What can you beat?
And I don't think you're going to get a $2,000 raise on a semi-pro. I mean, you got to know that your kicker is no good. You got to know. I mean, when a guy raises you 2,000, after you make it 600.
I mean, set over set, those are really, really difficult to get away from. But oftentimes, if I have trips, let's say I have jacks or something. Let's say I have a jack 8 or something like that, and the flop comes out jack blank, and I'm feeling strength from a good player.
Right.
I almost know I'm dead.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to put him on jack 10 or queen jack or ace jack.
Absolutely.
That was perfect, man. You raised
And I mean, you know, any number of hands could have been played on that. I mean, ace 4 is not that hard, you know, crazy of a hand to be playing, you know, to flop it. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's so many hands that can beat you out there.
better than anybody else.
Wow.
Feels better than anybody else.
But you don't put him on ace 4 because, I mean, obviously he raised so big.
5 players.
You almost got to put him on a 4.
Absolutely.
But what do you think he has deuce 4?
Incredible.
Man,
That's
well,
what
Mike
the
got
one
lucky
thing he's
there.
gonna beat.
Swear to God, I'm like,
Barry should have had all his money.
All of it.
100.
And you see he's got pocket nines.
Obviously, Mike could have caught a jack, an ace, or a 3 on the river.
Yeah, he had a lot of cards to chop.
Turn is a jack of diamonds there.
Only Abel has a diamond.
River's a jack, and wow.
Well, you have 5?
And Abel's going to bet with his ace now.
Hey, come on.
Got aces up. Mo's got nothing. He's got a pair of 5s.
You know the interesting thing here, though, is now what does Abel do if Mo were to come over the top? You know, he'd probably call it, but, you know, you open yourself up to a re-raise, and you can't be too proud of your kicker on that, but, well, he takes it down.
Bart and I actually constantly argue about the value of value betting the river. Right. And I try to maintain that sometimes I like to value bet the river with less than the monsters. Because if you're only betting your monsters and your bluffs, you're giving away an awful lot of information.
Absolutely. But you know, you also open yourself up to Mo comes over the top there. You know, what do you do with an ace 3? You know, with the 3 kicker.
You're probably giving away the pot. Yeah, you got to muck it.
Absolutely. So
another chip count here. Barry in the lead with 8,400. Mo up to 6,000. Mike is rebought. He's got $5,000 in front of him.
and he should be down that 5,000, by the way.
Yeah.
Dodged another bullet.
Bart with 2,300, and that's exactly what he bought in for.
All right, so he's still got time to make that 1480.
Yeah, he's right in the middle. He won 2 pots. He's won with kings, and he's won with 10-7.
10-7.
And that's pretty much it.
Barry raising. With, looks like he has pocket kings there, Dave.
200.
KK for Barry.
Chips, please. Huh?
who's getting ready to go home, Barry?
200 more.
And Yasini's probably going to lay this down. Yasini's pretty short in this game. He's only got about $580, $570.
Yeah, that almost starts to play like a tournament for you. You know, when,
Yeah,
when you're short stacked like that, what do you? And Abel calls with
Yeah,
a
in
5 deuce.
in a game that plays like this, I mean, $500-600. I mean, you're such at a handicap there. You
Absolutely.
can't bluff. You can't really do anything.
Well,
You can't call with any speculative hands, really.
plus, you know, when you got a straddled pot and somebody makes it 240 to go, what do? You either push or you mug. You
Right,
know, it's like
exactly.
you only have one move, and it really limits you like to tournament.
I mean, you
play.
can never call with a pocket pair like lower than 8,
Yeah,
really.
you got to push.
Button moves over to Bart in seat 5.
Pair ones.
A couple of kind of cool things we have going on. We've got our $500,000 free roll at the LA Poker Scene. If you sign up today, you can. I think you get. If you sign up with, I think it's 500x 5K. Ah, shoot, I gotta find that darn sheet. Here it is, 5x 500K. You get 8 gold bars, which can get you into stage 1 free roll tournaments. And if you win that one, you get into the free roll tournament. First place is 200 grand, folks.
So you can get in there for nothing and take down 200 grand.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Now I'm
There you
already
go.
in, but second place is 70 grand. So
Look at this. You got 2 players with pocket 8s. It looks like.
8-8. Bart with ace-4 diamonds on the button. He's not going to get involved. Not going to call the raise by Mike.
No.
Mike had raised it up to $120.
What is that? Out of position.
Oh, look at this. And Barry lays it down.
Barry lays it down. He says he's out of position.
Very, very, very,
And
He's
Alan's
absolutely
just going to call.
dominated by Mike with the 3-4 offsuit.
very, very, very.
And Abel calls. And we've got 8-8 versus 8-8 versus 3-4.
check.
Not surprisingly, neither player hits a set.
Yeah.
350.
Mike's got a pair.
And he follows up.
Not a bad flop for 8s, though, huh?
That's not a bad flop at all. Abel's going to give him a call.
Abel's going to call. And can Alan overcall this? Yes,
Sure he can.
Sure he can. Pot is now about $900. Turn is a 10 of hearts, and that's one more hand you can't beat now.
Well, that didn't really
3 hearts on the board.
Yeah, Alan's got the 8 of hearts. He's free rolling this. Mike can
Mike
catch a
catches
3 or a 4. That's not a heart.
No.
Ace of hearts on the river.
Alan backs into the flush.
Yeah.
Now, I think if Mike makes a bet on that turn, I think.
Yeah, but Alan's going to bet.
Away. Yeah, well.
Alan bets 500.
Oh.
And Mike is going to raise.
I like that play.
Wow.
That is an amazing.
Alan
play.
puts out a little blocker bet, $500, and Mike raises him, trying to get word of what Mike raised it to.
Looks like he raised it 1,000.
Made it $1,500 to go. No, he made it
Oh.
$1,200 to go. He made it $700 more.
Okay.
So the pot is now about, say, about $2,700 to call.
Yeah.
Getting 3 to 1 on your
Between
money.
8 and king, Alan, I'll
you
tell
know.
you that.
Mike says between 8 and a king, but Alan has the 8.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens.
And then
when
Mike
we
is
were-
trying to talk him out of calling.
Yeah.
My heart is between 8 and king.
Wow, not 10.
This is what we were talking about earlier. When you make a raise and you open yourself up to the re-raise.
Exactly. Now the question here is, would Mike raise with anything short of a king of hearts? Would he raise with the queen of hearts, or would he just call $500?
You know, I think Mike would raise either way. I think.
Really? You think he raised with a jack of hearts or a queen of hearts?
Yeah, I really do.
And
And
Mike,
Alan-
and wow, Alan
wow,
calls him,
Alan calls.
and Alan takes it down. And Mike mutters there, "What the hell can you beat there?" And Mike doesn't realize that, obviously.
Well, I think Mike talked him into a call there.
Yeah,
I think he clearly talked him into a call.
Mike's left shaking his head there.
Bad call, man.
And Alan lets him know it's a bad call.
Why was it a bad call? I don't know. I mean, it's a good call. He
Yeah,
had
the guy
best
talked
hands.
you into calling.
Right.
You know, he said it's between an 8 and a king, and Alan had the 8.
Figured, okay, I'm probably good then. And Alan takes down about a $2,700 pot there. Actually, no, yeah, more than that. Actually, $1,200, about a $3,400 pot.
It's a nice size pot.
Get an email. I get a post here from Chester on 2+2. Why does George Georgian have an Armenian last name?
It's actually Georgiou, I believe, with and a UO at the end, or OU at the end. So it's not Ian, it's U.
It's George Uian.
No, Giorgio.
George Georgia.
Yeah.
So I always thought it was George Georgian.
20.
No, but
Wow, learn something new every day.
George, we could change your name here on Live at the Bike.
We change names all the time. Eugene's got aces, by the way. Makes it 120.
Oh, look at this.
Mike calls with 9-8 spades. And
Actually, I like that hand. Mike's playing that 9-8 of spades.
you like it when
connector.
you like it when Mo's got Queen Jack of spades, though.
No, that's one time I don't like it.
And wow, and Barry's going to call Ace 10 offsuit. It's the only hand I don't like. Wow.
Look at this.
How do you like 9-8 now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Flop is 9-9-8, folks. Mike
Now-
is flop top full
look at
house,
this. Wow.
and Eugene checks it.
I think he's checking to get a check raise in. That's what I really think.
And he checks. How does Mike check that?
See,
Wow,
gotta-
and Mo's hit a pair here. Amazing.
But you
Let's
know
see what happens.
I think Mike could have got a lot of value out of it. You got a razor pre-flop from one of the tighter players at the table, Eugene, and you just check right behind him.
Yeah, well, some of the times you've got to realize the only way to get a big pot is to put money in the pot.
Absolutely.
And Mike's just going to call. No mini raise or anything here. Now, there's one more hand that Eugene can't beat, by the way, is Jack 10.
And look
Can't
at
beat
Alan.
any 9,
Is
can't
Alan
beat
in a
Jack
hand
10.
with 6-7? He is. Open-ended. There you go.
And he's going to throw that away. Obviously, a 10 would be garbage. Anybody with a jack would have a straight. And Mo throws away top pair.
That's a good laydown.
And the river's a king. Wow, and what is Eugene going to do here?
Oh, I think he's gonna. Looks like he's gonna make a little value bet. Thinking his aces are good. Oh, he checks it.
Well, by not betting the flop, and Mike is going to bet what? He's going to bet $1,000?
It's like $1,200.
$1,200. There you go. He bets $1,200 into about a $1,500 pot, $1,600 pot. The pot is now close to $2,900, folks.
And this is the problem of not raising on the.
Well, not betting.
Betting
the
on
flop.
the turn. Betting on. He checked the flop. That's right.
He
No,
checked
no,
the
he checked the flop. That's right.
He checked the flop and then he bet the turn.
And he called the turn.
Hard for him to know if Mike is bluffing or not. Obviously,
Right.
Mike is capable of bluffing. You know, you got to call 1,200 to win about 3,000. You're getting about 2.5 to 1 on your money. You know, would Mike bluff enough to make this a profitable
Oh, he's
call?
gonna call here.
Yeah. And Eugene calls, and that's a $4,000 pot that's going to go to Mike here with a full house.
Wow, what a
Wow.
bad call, too. How many hands are there to beat you there?
And Mike reprimanding him for giving him the call.
You definitely would have called. You would have been in the pot before he even said.
Alan was trying to claim that he would have laid down aces.
Right.
Oh my God. I would definitely. Oh, if you don't call me at 1,200 with aces on the river there, my dick's about this big, Alan. I would call you 12 with aces.
So who do you like in the Super Bowl, David?
You know what? Everybody likes Pittsburgh.
Right.
I got to go Seattle. I'm going
That's
Seattle.
not a bad pick.
I'm going Seattle.
Depends on if they get that running game going.
They're underdogs, man. I love. You know what? I think Hasselbeck is underrated.
He
I
really
think
is.
Darryl Jackson is underrated. They think for some reason they look at Seattle. They go, "Oh, well, they don't have a standout receiver." I go, "Darryl Jackson's great.
Right.
He was injured the whole year, but he's back. And if anybody saw him a couple of weeks ago, he had like 150 yards against the Washington Redskins."
Yep.
100.
I like Seattle too. Oh,
Eugene makes it 100 to go with 4-8. You think maybe steam it a little bit?
little bit.
No way in hell you lay that. You can say whatever you want, but I'm 100% sure you're not laying that.
All right, when it happens, I'll show
And
you.
Bart's got ace-7 of spades. So
Ace 7 of spades, but he's not going to call that. He's not going to call a $200 raise from Eugene.
I think he did call. No, he didn't. Is the word.
5 ways.
Oh, look at this.
King 9-5.
2 spades.
Well, Eugene is he raised with 8-4 spades. He's picked up the flush draw. Let's see if he bets it.
I would love to see a bet here from Eugene.
Now Mike's got a king. Actually, Mike's got top 2 pair. Wow.
Well, yeah, he's not going to get away from this.
Raise.
Well,
And that's he's not going to slow play.
man, I
this
tell you, Eugene is like Mike's bitch right now. Jesus.
right now he is. Well, maybe Mike likes his shirt. He wants to know where he got that shirt from.
Wow. Let's see what happens here. Turn is a 7. Well, that gives Eugene more outs.
More outs.
He's got a straight
Straight
draw
draw,
now.
flush draw.
Needs a 6 or a spade to win this pot. Obviously, the king of spades would not be good, but the king of spades is in Mike's hand, so don't worry about it.
Oh, look at this. He's making a big bet.
800. What is he trying to represent here, though? I mean, he's almost playing it like he has aces.
I think Mike's going to put them all in here.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Eugene raised. Eugene's a pretty tight player. Would Eugene raise with 8-6?
You know what? I mean, that's the only thing you could. You know, that's
Well,
the only thing you could put them on. I
Well,
mean,
but at 8-6, I mean, would he call a bet on the flop though with 8-6? I mean, it's only a gut shot.
and if you play that hand backwards, and you remember the way it came out, and he raised pre-flop.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
when
no
he
way
raised
King
with
9
8-6
is not good.
pre-flop, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, unless you put him specifically on
and
pocket
there he
fives.
is. Yep, Mike was going to put them all in.
Yeah. Unless you specifically put him on pocket fives. And this is the question now. Now Eugene is put to the test. Mike is all in. He's got him covered. Eugene has probably close to $2,000 here.
You have to call first.
And
he's
Eugene
gonna
says,
give him a
well, will you make a deal if I call? And Mike says, sure.
Why not, right? You got the best of it.
Now, this pot, folks, is close to, I'm going to get word, find out exactly what the pot is. This pot is close to, I want to say, $7,000.
Yeah, right around 7,000. Maybe a little more.
Maybe even more than that, exactly.
Well, Eugene has some outs here, but
Yeah, he needs a 6 or a spade. Let's see how many times they run it. If you want to know about running the river, you can check it out on liveatthebike.com. Click on the left-hand side as seen on the bike.
no, I don't think
Let me
Mike's going
explain
to run it any less than 3 times. He won't run it twice because that's not really giving him, it's guy hits
Oh,
it
wow.
once, he gets out.
First time's a spade.
Hits that one.
Second time's a 4.
No good.
1-1 each. And the river last time is the 3, and Mike's going to take 2/3 of this pot.
So Mike takes 2/3. Yeah, and I think I heard Mike say, I'll run it once or 3 times, not twice. And
Well,
it's
lucky
pretty
for
good
him,
that
he
he
did
didn't
it
say
once.
No, that's 8.
You can't take it back, so make that all 3-way. Give me
Yeah,
one.
Mike dodging bullets left and right. Doesn't run it once and takes
Make that all
2/3.
3-way.
Now, last night's game, I was actually playing with Mike last night, and 2 times Mike had all his money, and they ran deals.
Oh, well.
And
And
Mike
he
was-
lost on both, right? If he would run it once, I think he
Yeah, he was a favorite one time, and he was an underdog one time. But if he ran it once, both times, he wins it.
takes them both down.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's that's some of the that's one of the downfalls of running it. I think I've talked over with a couple of guys, and I think I don't know if I'm a proponent of running it anymore.
I was
think
going to
if
ask
get
you,
your hands
do
in
you
there
run
with-
it or not?
I have in the past, but I think what you're doing is you're almost giving incentive for the other guy to call if you're going to run it, because now he's thinking, well, maybe I'll hit 1, at least I'm only up for a third, and it's giving him odds to call because, if the pot's gotten big enough, he's thinking, okay, at least I can get a third of my money back, or, depending on how much he has left. So I think what you're going to see is, a lot more people are going to stop running it because either they're taking beats or they would rather just gamble. If they think they're in there with the best of it.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Barry Greenstein about it, and I was saying Jonas actually agreed to this as well. They both said that no limit hold'em is a lot about fear and intimidation.
Absolutely.
And if your
Big guys
opponent
here. Take that back. This is the big
thinks that they can salvage some of their chips, they're more likely to call you.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're
And
talking about.
right, it takes the fear out of the game.
Yep. Because I don't think you get a lot of these calls if
if
you
you
knew you
think-
weren't going to run it and you only had, you're drawn once to the river.
Yeah, and you got
on a gut shot, or even if you have a redraw to a flush, I don't.
right.
You're definitely not a favorite.
I mean, you're much more likely to move in with overcards and a flush draw,
Right.
knowing your opponent's going to run it 3 times.
Absolutely.
Everybody's.
If not,
or,
7 ways, limped around, $140 pot.
We've got an array of hands in here. Deuce
Yeah,
4.
ace, 8, 7, a couple of ace rags in the lead.
80.
And that's the thing about Mike. If Mike picks up some chips, he can really start to run the table and dominate the table.
Well, you never know what I mean, one of the things I remember talking to you and George about it, and you guys actually said that Mike is one of the, at this time, I think it was like 3-4 months ago, but you said Mike is one player that really scares you
Yeah.
because you never know what he has.
he can play any 2 cards.
And,
Well,
he doesn't care about the money.
He doesn't. I mean, that's a dangerous combination.
Yeah, it is.
A guy who plays amazingly loose, aggressive, and whose bankroll is unlimited.
We got a $160 bet here, called 3 ways,
Oh, look at this.
and turn is a 10 there.
Giving Yassini an open ender.
Yeah. Now neither player has a big ace, so it's kind of scary. Now neither player's kicker plays.
Look at Barry comes out flying.
Yeah. Best 5 cards play here, so they both have a pair of aces, 10, 8, 7. And
Mike gets away.
they have to dodge it. Mike's going to fold this.
And Yassini missed.
Yeah, the river's a 5. Mike would have made 2 pair.
Now I wonder here. Well, he's going to check. Oh, if Yassini made a big bet, could Barry get away? Yeah, he was just going to
Yeah,
check
it's
it
pretty
down.
obviously an easy check for
Yeah.
Barry there.
Oh, look at Mike having a heart attack.
That is so.
Mike makes 2 pair on the end.
Yeah.
What'd you fall, Bobby? What'd you fall?
Thank you, Barry.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Barry.
But my wife actually is Barry's masseuse now.
Oh, wow.
How scary is that?
It is scary. I don't know if I'd want to be too close to Barry on occasion.
I know, exactly.
I tell you, these two, Mike and Barry, if they could, they would get rid of everybody at the table and just play heads up all night. That's the kind of love they have for each other.
Yeah, it's kind of a love-hate thing. I think they do have a mutual respect for each other, though.
They do, absolutely, they do. Yeah, Barry's a fun guy too. I mean, he likes to mix it up, and
I love you. You are much.
he's actually a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
Able to get you out. You have the best can. What does that make you, and what does that make me? We're not talking number. Tag.
Did we ever get the results of that poll a while back about what was it, Mike's earring and Barry's ring?
Why is it everybody who beats you is
I'm getting these posts on 2+2. Yeah, we never actually got the official poll. I believe
Now,
they
that'd be a
said
great
Barry's.
poll.
They said Barry's ring was. No, they said Mike's earring is more gay, but
It's
Barry's
more gay.
shoes are more gay.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's probably a wash.
Yeah.
Well, but you look at a head more often than you look at feet, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
And look at this. I got posts on 2+2 here. Can anyone confirm that Bart is still in the game?
He's running strong.
94 minutes equals 2 flops seen. He's up, though, isn't he, Surf? And actually, I think Bart is about even.
Yeah, I think
Bart's
he's
just
about
not
even.
picking up many hands. And
The hands he has played them strong.
yeah, Funky Monkey wants to know is, do all props play like this? And you know, the thing is, in No Limit Hold'em, we try to preach this. You know, you really can pick your spots.
Yeah.
You don't got to push it. You can be patient and you can be disciplined and wait for your hands.
Absolutely.
Especially at a table like this, 1-2 hands a night, and you can go up $4,000, $5,000.
Easily. Done it many times.
Now Bart's got enough money though. He's got $2,300 that he can call a couple of these smaller raises. The problem is some of these small raises are $200.
And the thing, though, that Bart can't use is his table image, like we were talking about earlier. You know, I think people are going to fear his hands more often than say, Mike raising or.
Yeah. Actually, I think Bart's actually in a bad spot. Normally, I like to be behind Mike.
Yeah.
But since Mike is so predictable, I don't mind being in front of him because the problem is.
If you're going to play a hand, you know you're going to play it for a raise, most likely.
Right. Exactly. And the thing is, though, but if you raise in front of Mike, and you have an image like Bart, Mike might throw it away.
Absolutely. And you're
While
going to lose his action.
by the time it gets to Bart, the action, it's always raised.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually, being between Barry and Mike, he's actually in a terrible spot.
Absolutely.
And once again, Mike's going to raise. This time he's got a real hand.
Which is the tough thing. Yeah, it's always hard to put Mike on a hand because he could raise with. I've seen him raise with 9-5 offsuit, a monster like that, and then I've seen him raise with pocket tens and limp with pocket aces.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, people forget to. They go, well, he's a maniac. The maniac, he could have anything, right? Yeah, but maniacs get good hands too.
Absolutely.
I like it, man. Why I love all the action? Why not?
I got to tell you, this is enjoyable. Bart should play every night. You should just hang out.
Right? Just
This is
hang
much
out,
better.
watch some poker. Take Bart's job. I'll give him chips. He can put up my chips.
This
He'll
is
probably
much
do a better
better.
job.
Yeah, why don't we do an internet vote?
All right.
What team would you want to be? You want Nicole in there? Hav, me, Bart. You realize it's going to be Nicole and Jen.
Probably.
They're going to probably get away.
Get voted out of a job.
Oh, without a doubt.
Right.
Well, I'd rather see Nicole.
This is a good flop for Mike here.
Yeah, that's not a bad flop at all.
Not at all.
And obviously having two pair already, if somebody had, say, 8-7
Right.
or 7-6, they have very little.
Plus, you got to remember this was a raised pot pre-flop, so the odds of somebody having a 3 slim to none, unless it was Mike.
Right.
Probably, if you think what I heard, you got to call.
You gotta know.
We got to be all in.
You gotta be all in.
Eugene's got nothing. I'm not sure what he's thinking about here. He's thinking about making a move.
Sounded like he was going to make a deal again already.
I said, if you think what I think you have what I think you have, then we'll probably not.
Huh.
Now, Eugene plays a little bit of all the games. He played the $80 no-limit game last night.
Right.
Now, Eugene does have a tendency to tilt, and I think he's thinking of making a move on Mike. You know, it's one of those times against Mike, though. Mike could have anything, and I think Eugene thinks that Mike's got nothing.
Well, I don't think Mike's going to get away from this no matter what. And I think Mike almost has some covered. So.
Wait a second, though. Mike bet 900?
Yeah.
So if you want to call, put in the 12 first and say raise.
It's
Well,
450.
see, there's going to be so much money in this pot.
What is Eugene doing?
Mike's not going to get away for another $400.
Yeah, but
No, I mean, the pot is already, folks, the pot is already 900. The pre-flop raise is 150, called in 4 or 5 spots. The pot is like $1,700.
Yeah. No,
There's
he's-
no way Mike's going to
no
go
way you're
anywhere.
going to get Mike off this hand.
You have no fold equity whatsoever, and you've got king high with no draw.
No way he's going to. I mean, you might be able to stick a grenade underneath this chair, but that's short of a miracle.
And how
He's
much
gonna
is
get away.
Eugene moving in for?
He's moving in for all of it. I think Mike bet
Yeah, how much does
900.
he have, though? I want to see how much additional.
You know, it looked like he had about 17 or 1800. Okay, we're getting word that it's 1200 was the original bet. And there's the call.
And he's recalling, and he's re-raising how much more? 1140
Yeah,
more. I mean,
he's-
the bet was 1200. You're talking about the pot was
So you're getting
2800.
what 4-1 right off the bat?
Yeah, the pot's 4,000.
Yeah, you're
okay,
not
the pot's 4,000, 1100 to call.
Absolutely.
Come on. I mean, you can almost show Mike the 3. And
I'll
he's
tell
not
you
gonna
what.
go
Now, if
anywhere.
Eugene catches the king here, he's gonna about explode. Wow. I can't believe he moved in. But
Man, and people wonder why I like this game. What are you kidding me? I mean, okay, and you guys, I got to. We go out of the show, and sometimes you guys give us crap, okay? How can I sugarcoat this?
You just
How can I possibly sugarcoat this? Look at this play.
Well, I'll tell you what. Next time you see me move in on a king 9, just come on out to the table and slap me
you?
in the face.
I mean, come on, but we see this all the time.
But you have my permission. You heard it here at Live at the Bike.
And like I say, I mean, we're privy to the hands. We know, hey, Eugene might have put Mike on nothing, but Mike doesn't bet 1,200 with nothing. And, well, he's drawing dead. And once again, Mike is running it 3 times here. Eugene needs a king and only... Wow, he hits a set again. Well, he's not going to hit a set here.
No.
And he needs a king and only a king. And he's going to lose all 3 times.
All 3 times.
Well, nothing like giving Mike a gift there.
No.
And that's...
Wow. And, I've played with Eugene before, and I've seen him go on a little bit tilt, but wow.
Tilting in like a 3 to 5 game, tilting off $600 is different than tilting off...
Yes.
What did he just lose?
In a row? Well, he dropped what? It was 12,
and he gave it all to Mike, by the way.
15, 20. He just gave about $3,000 to Mike in this one.
But I'm saying that in 3 subsequent hands there, he had pocket aces where he lost about $2,000 to Mike.
Right.
Then he had 8-4 of spades where he lost about $2,000 to Mike. And then he had king 9, no pair, no draw, and he loses another $3,000 to Mike.
And the tough thing about those aces is that he doesn't get any information by checking that flop. When the flop came 8-9-9, if he bets it and he gets a smooth call, okay, bells might be going off, and you get some information early on. But
and I was talking to George about the emotional part of this game, because to me it's the number one factor being a poker player. You can read all the books, you can know how to play, you know when to fold, you know when to call, you can have great reading instincts, but if you cannot keep the emotional part of the game intact, there's no way you can win, because you play it great. And you've seen Eugene here. He plays pretty well for about an hour and a half. He gets his aces cracked, and then he blows through $5,000.
You see it all the time.
I mean, I don't care how good a player you are. There's no way you can beat the game.
No, not like that. I mean, you really have to be able to keep your emotions in check and take a step back. Sometimes if it takes maybe taking a walk around the table, or go for a little walk, get a drink, go to the restroom, do what you got to do. But you kind of have to know what your buttons are and what you need to do to take to cool down. Barry's got pocket 8s. He's open-ended.
Yeah. Now, Abel's got a decent hand. There's sometimes if I've got Jack 10 here and I've got a club in my hands,
right?
It's the kind of gut shot that I don't mind, because if an 8 comes off and somebody's got the 10,
right,
I can really make a lot of money off that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like the nuts there.
Barry's going to take it down.
Barry takes it down. Nice bet by Barry.
Well, Mike's dodging a lot of bullets tonight. Guy takes a runner for a split pot, and then he gets a couple gifts from Eugene. It looks like George is going to be up next on the...
Trying to get in the game here.
Yeah, I think he's up next.
Well, I think Eugene locked up the seat, though.
Oh, did he really?
He did lock up the seat.
He did lock it.
And as long as he locked it up, I think the players want him back in the game.
Yeah. I think Mike is definitely in favor of that. And Bart's saying he had the ace 3 on that hand when the 2 3s were on the board. But he would have gone broke twice because Mike turned a set twice.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Mike hits both 10s there.
Yeah.
Wow, and Mike is suddenly way up. I mean,
Way up.
And you didn't obviously see the very first 2 minutes of the show. Mike
Well, he
lost
told
flush
me about
over
the
flush
bad beats he took, yeah.
and his aces. When he was down about $5,000 within 20 minutes.
Well, I guess Amir had flopped the 2 pair on his
Yeah,
aces,
top 2.
and he paid him off by $2,000 there, he said. And well, I would rather raise with pocket aces and pick up a $100 pot than give away $2,000.
Well, Mike made a mistake there. He limped around. He limped in with aces. Okay, that's fine.
He's looking for
the
a raise
raise.
in early position, right?
Problem is, though, he's predominantly the raiser in this game. He doesn't get the raise, and he takes it 7 ways. Now, you take aces 7 ways.
You're in trouble.
Hey, guys, do you like how Bart is playing? You think you can take him on? Well, we're going to give you a shot at him in the second round of Beat the Live Play Commentator. Now, the first time I did it, actually, nobody could beat me in the first round. Mm-hmm. And then I played a tournament, and I got knocked out in 5th place, and Hempy beat me. Well, next Sunday, February 12th, we're going to give you, the viewer, a chance to take on and knock off Bart Hansen, poker commentator and player extraordinary. I can't read this. Poker commentator and player. Just coming off the biggest cash win of his professional career, Bart is ready for the next challenge. You.
Bring it.
Bring it. Hey, guys. If you can beat him, I'm sure you'll get something.
Smile and
Sunday,
handshake and a
February
Live with
12th.
the Bike shirt.
And there will be a bounty on Bart's head next Sunday, February 12th.
Nice. Let me mark that on my calendar.
Now, it's going to be plate chips, so Bart might play a few more hands.
Right, right. Well,
And
Amir
Bart actually
raised.
usually mixes it up. This game's probably a little bit bigger than he likes to play. It's a 10-20 game, but it's really playing like a 20-40 game.
Mike calls with a 9-5.
Yeah. And he's behind still. Amir's got sixes.
Now, last week at Live with the Bike, I saw Mike call this for $500. He had 9-4, and Amir had a 9 with a 10 kicker. So,
well,
maybe this is playing back into his head.
Yeah,
from
he's going
last
to
week.
raise. The problem is, though, is Amir never gives Mike credit for hands.
No.
You know, Mike's got to realize who he's bluffing. I mean, there are certain players that Mike can bluff.
Right.
But Amir is one of those players, if I'm Mike, I almost want to bet for value because Amir never gives me credit.
And remember, we talked about last week. They had some history. They had a had
And
some words. Oh, look
he's
at this.
re-raising.
Re-raises. I like that play.
Wow.
That's a great play.
Well, you give Mike some chips and he really gets aggressive, huh?
Yes, he does. Now, how much more does Amir have behind him? Okay, so we're
Only
getting
got
word
900 left. I mean, obviously, you can't get him off the hand.
No, I don't think he's going to go anywhere, even if Mike tries to.
Now, the only question here is, do you think Amir's making this move with high spades, some sort of straight draw, and do you think your pair is good?
And Mike's trying to talk himself into a call here. You know, I think he's given this serious thought.
Well, you know, I mean, it's not as automatic. I mean, he's going to fold it, I think, but it's not as automatic as fold as you might think.
No.
You might go, would Amir make this move against Mike?
Absolutely.
With
but,
big
I mean,
spades.
Could he have, I mean, spades and overcards? I mean, there are so many different things that he could have that.
I mean, if he's over overcards and spades, he's a favorite, actually. But with the dead money in the pot, Mike probably has the odds to call.
And it also depends on, I mean, if you take a look at how much Amir has left behind him, you know, he's really not going to go anywhere. I mean, maybe if he's really, really deep, he might be able to make a move.
Right.
Or, you know, that really dictates what happens. But, yeah, he's not going to go anywhere. And here's, they're jabbing back and forth.
Yeah, now we've got a whole bunch of 2+2 posts here going here. Yeah, great. Wow, I had Corporation Mike as a big loser. Thanks, Eugene.
Well, Eugene gave him, what, about 5,500?
Yeah, and here we go. Somebody else here said, I chose Eugene to shock the world for big winners tonight. Well, that's not going to work.
Well, Buster Douglas did knock out Mike Tyson.
You
so.
never know. Well, we've got about an hour left in the show, so you never know.
Anything can happen with no limit hold'em.
I mean, we got like tons of emails here. Thanks for all your guesses. I'm going to have to go through them and figure out who is going to get dinner at HT Grill in Redondo Beach, California.
Didn't we make an agreement, man? You're talking an awful lot. Dude, go back to eating. Stick to the.
Four ways, limped around.
Stick to the eating.
876. Wow, straight flush out there.
Wow.
And Mike's got bottom pair with an open-ended straight draw, but no heart.
And
Abel's, yeah.
Open
Abel's
and straight flush draw.
Yeah.
He's gonna
It
make
kind
it
of looks prettier than it is, though.
much prettier. But he is the only one with a heart. He can't know that, but.
And wow, and actually, I apologize. Abel actually called with Queen 5 there. Okay.
Yeah, he just called. And Mike's open-ended as well. I mean, he's got now he has two pair, and he's open-ended to the strong side of the
wow,
straight.
$400 bet, and he calls. The pot is quickly
smooth
$1,400. And the river's an ace, and that changes nothing.
Nothing.
Mike's got the best hand here with two pair,
He might
sevens
slow
and
down.
sixes with an ace kicker. Well, now it's one of those times. If you bet, can you get called by a hand that can beat you?
Right.
And the thing that you got to be scared of was Abel chasing with the ace of hearts.
See, I like this bet here, though, because I don't think, if Abel's on any type of flush draw, he didn't get there. And he was just calling the whole way.
Right, but if you bet that, I'm
you're
wondering
opening
is,
yourself up.
can you get called by a hand that you can beat?
Right.
That's the only thing I'm wondering there. I
Right.
mean, you obviously can't beat any six. You tie a six.
Right.
You can't beat an eight. You can't beat an ace.
Only thing you can beat is a draw.
Yeah, that's it.
Only thing and maybe I might picked up on that because Abel was just calling. And Abel's also a type of player in the few times that I've played with him. He when he has a hand, he moves.
Right.
He moves chips.
I mean, just a little devil's advocate there. If I bet that hand and I get called, obviously I beat.
Right.
Might I want to check that and induce a bluff?
Absolutely, that's another way of
I
playing.
mean, it puts you. If Abel bets a lot though on the river, obviously you put yourself to the test.
Right. And to be honest, I think Abel only had about another 800 behind him. If he if he makes a bet, even half his bet or his stack, might call that. I've seen him call ace high for $400 or $500. So.
Well, this is funny here. Not surprisingly, most people have voted for Mike to lose the most and Mo or Barry to win the most.
And they're absolutely wrong tonight.
Well, Mo is up about 3,000 or 4,000.
Mo's up, okay.
Yeah, he doubled up right away off of Barry, actually.
Okay. And Barry's up a little bit, too.
Yeah, Barry had a straight, actually, and Mo had the nut straight, though.
That'll pay off the ignorant hand every time.
Ace, queen, 8 here. Bet from Barry in late position with ace 6. Ace rag there.
I don't think he's going to get a call here.
Yeah, a hand like...
Mike might give him a call. You never know. Oh, Mike's out of the hand.
What? Mike's out of the hand?
Yeah.
Wow, call the presses.
Lately I've been seeing a lot of new faces at in the No Limit games and the Live at the Bike game, which is, I think it's kind of good for the game.
It's great. We were actually just talking about that, in the sense that No Limit Hold'em today, especially at the Bus Casino, it's really exciting because we have an $80 game. We've got a $40 game, an $80 game, a $100 game, a $200 game, and they're feeding the bigger games.
Absolutely.
And it's like, as players go broke, new players come in.
Step in. And, on the occasion, you'll see more and more I've been seeing people who have been in the 100 really move up the ranks.
Yeah.
Really move up the ranks quick.
I mean, there have been a couple times where I've seen people like play in the 200. I mean, we see Eugene here.
Quickly.
He played in the $80 game last night.
Absolutely.
He jumps in and plays a $1,000 game.
I think about 2 weeks ago I played in a 500 with him, and then I also played in a 10-20 blind with him, No Limit. And he'll jump back and forth, going into the 5, the 2, but this is a big game. This is a really big game for Eugene, I think.
Limped around here. Flop is ace, king, 9, rainbow. Nobody's got much of anything. I mean, Bart's got the best hand with ace deuce, but he does not bet it in middle position. Oh, Bart's not in the hand. I apologize.
Yeah. I think Alan's got, he has a 9. Oh, and
we're just showing what Bart had. Mm-hmm. Bart would have won this hand.
He would have.
And like you said, I mean, there are some 10-20 games that play smaller than that, and there are some 10-20 games that play way bigger, and this game is playing huge.
Well, I think, one of the things is anytime you sit at a table with a guy who will nearly raise almost every hand and straddle every time, you're going to have...
Yeah, and you get calling stations in there, too. So,
absolutely.
I mean, each pot is almost $400, $600 pre-flop.
Yep. And Bart would hit trip aces here.
Yeah. Mo is going to bet with his king.
It's definitely worth the call the size of the pot.
And Alan, is he going to call with a 9?
Red Bull?
Thinking?
I don't think so.
Smiling. I think he might give a couple of different people at the table a call, but I don't know if he's going to give Mo a call.
Yeah, Mo does get...
He does. He calls.
Wow, okay. And Mo takes down about a $600 pot there with king 4.
Well, he said he had to call with the
had to.
Bottom pair.
Absolutely had to.
Well, what are you going to do?
And Mo can bet that on the river thinking, okay, there's no way somebody's got an ace here.
Right.
And my 4 doesn't play, so I've got aces and kings with a jack kicker.
Right.
The likelihood is that somebody doesn't have king queen.
The interesting thing about that last hand, I think if Bart even, it's a tough hand, ace deuce. I mean, you hate your kicker, but I think if Bart makes a bet on that, I don't think he gets called from a single person at the table.
I mean, Bart's obviously getting a bad rap tonight. He's not playing any hands.
Right.
But you know what? That's no limit is really about, especially if you're a professional poker player, which Bart is. He's not here to put a show on.
Action and go crazy.
He's not here to put a show on. He's not here for your entertainment. He's here to make money.
Absolutely. And
And
we talked about that in this game. You really don't need to play a ton of hands. You make your couple hands for the night.
I mean, as much as you and I, especially me, right now, I'm here for your entertainment at home. But if I'm playing poker, I'm there to win money.
Absolutely.
And however I think I'm going to make money, I'm going to do it. And Bart's got ace king of spades here. He made it $100.
That's a pretty hand, isn't it? Ace king of spades.
It is pretty. It is a pretty.
But if you don't hit anything, it shrivels up real quick. And Barry calls.
Well, ace king. Don't they call that? It's like the Anna Kournikova of
That's right.
Of poker.
Yeah. Looks pretty, but never wins, huh?
Right.
And Allen's in there with pocket.
Look at this.
Look at this.
I give him the softball pitch, and he just hits it.
Wow.
It's great.
Well, that's how they.
Wow. And look at this. Yassini is raising it. How much is Yassini moving in for? He moved all in.
Did he really?
Yeah. How much?
50.
Oh, wow.
1,050. Okay, now the pot is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The pot is $1,540. 1,000 to call.
Must have sensed weakness from 6 players.
And Bart throws it away.
Ace king. Well, that's a good laydown, I think. You know, you're only invested. What was he invested?
Yeah, I mean,
$40.
He was invested 100. The only thing I'm wondering though is, okay, I'm going to throw this at you. Obviously, the scene could easily have aces or kings, but he raised so much, like he's scared. You wonder if maybe he's got jacks or tens, and you figure, okay, we're probably about 50-50 here.
Right.
And with the dead money in there, you know, I'm putting in 1,000 to win 1,500. I'm getting, I want to say I'm getting 1.5 to 1 on my money, and I'm probably not that big of an underdog.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't mind the laydown, but I certainly wouldn't have minded the call either.
Well, you know, I think a guy like, if you look at a couple people at the table, they're going to make that. Mike's probably going to make that call.
Yeah.
You have a couple guys that are going to make that call, but I really don't hate that laydown. I mean, you had you had 7 people in there pre-flop for $100. There's 700 in the pot.
Yeah, Alan's thinking about it with deuces. He throws it away, and Eugene throws it away. Eugene is back in the game, by the way, for $2,000.
Good for the game.
And you see he takes it down. No, I don't mind the laydown, especially with the players behind you.
Absolutely.
But you figure if somebody had a big hand, you probably would have heard from them when you raised.
Absolutely. Earlier. Much earlier. And I think, was Bart the original raiser?
He was.
He made it up to 100.
He made it $100 to go. Another chip down here, and look at Mike. $10,000.
He's what, rebought once? Is that what Mike did one time?
Yeah, I want to say he rebought once. I'm not sure. We'll get exact word for what he's up. Donna's on top of that. Barry's 9,500. Yassini's got 1,100 now. Actually, Yassini's probably got close to 2,000 now.
I can tell you who's lost the most at the table tonight. That's about the one I have guaranteed.
Yeah. Eugene has definitely lost the most tonight.
I bet you can't guess who straddled.
And Bart is not going to play. He's out. I mean, I had a similar hand where it was a straddle pot, and I had limped in. I was straddle pot. I was in the big blind with ace king, and it went around, and the guy in the button actually limped in. Okay, so I thought, okay. And the guy in the small blind moves in at $250. Okay, and he'd been doing that all day.
Right.
So I called him with ace king suited. And then when it went around to the button again, he actually moved all in for like another $1,000. And I said, you know what, though? I go, this guy limped in on the button the first time around. Which, no, I put him on like pocket fives maybe. But I said he might even have ace jack or ace queen.
You know, I've seen some people, though, do that with a really big hand, though. You know, hoping, like Mike was hoping for that re-raise.
Right.
You know, maybe he, but, you know, you already have position. You really don't. You have all these limpers. Yeah, you know what?
Obviously, it's either way. I mean, it's each their own, I guess.
Right.
Ace of hearts on the turn there. Barry's got the flush draw now with the pair of sevens. Abel with the best hand, though.
Right. Now, who's turn to act? Abel's turn?
Abel's going to check it. He's going to check it. He's scared of the ace. Turn. River is a queen of hearts there.
Barry gets there.
Barry gets the straight. Now, let's see if Barry puts a little value bet here. I'm sure he will.
Absolutely.
Should be pretty easy for Abel to get away from this, right?
Yeah.
He's got
I
third
mean,
pair
you got
now.
overcards, yeah.
No kicker.
Nothing. Yeah, it's pretty easy lay down here.
And Barry bets $350 into a.
And
wow.
look at Mike.
Mike calls.
That's why we love Mike here.
Mike calls with fourth pair, no kicker. You can only beat a pure bluff.
And I think this comes back to a little bit of the relationship that they have.
Yeah, Barry takes down about a $1,200 pot there.
Should have been about a $900 pot. What are you going to do?
Now, the interesting thing is in that case, I put the guy, I said, I had seen him earlier do it with ace-queen, so I thought he might be, 25% chance he has ace-queen. And then I said maybe he's got pocket fives to pocket eights. And I
How
said,
much did they push in for?
Put in for about 1,000 more.
Okay.
Over the 200. So I said, okay, there's 1,750 in a pot, 1,000 for me to call. I'm almost getting 2 to 1.
Right.
And I figure I'm probably about 50-50.
And you're going to see all 5 cards.
Right, and I said, okay, I'm going to call in this case. I was sure enough I was right. He had sevens.
Sevens.
Right. Now, in a tournament, oftentimes I don't want to make that play because it could be my tournament life.
Right.
Even though I want to accumulate chips.
That's the thing, though, too, is in a tournament, I think that's a good play with sevens. I don't think that's a good play in a live game.
Yeah, in a cash game, though, to me, if I know I'm getting an edge, even if it's a small edge, as long as my bankroll can handle it,
absolutely,
why not take that edge?
Absolutely.
Bart's got queens, by the way, folks, and I think he limped in.
Let's see what that.
Bart has limped in with queens, folks.
Mike raised it. No, Bart made it 100 to go.
He did. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Look at this. You're an expert.
No, we do what we can.
9-8-7. Not a real good flop for queens, huh?
You got 2 guys open-ended here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Alan's got queen 10. Barry's got ace 10. And Bart's got queens. And Bart is going to bet $500 into a $500 pot. Pot is now $1,000. And Barry's got ace 10 with the ace of spades. The problem, though, is Barry knows it's Bart now. Would Bart
Right.
do this with ace-king?
Right.
You know, you almost have to put Bart on a big pair, don't you?
Absolutely. And this is where his image comes into play.
I mean, he's only played about 3 hands all night.
I mean, I think Barry calls nearly, probably everybody at the table with this,
Except maybe Bart.
except Bart.
Now, the question is here, if
Oh, look
Barry
at this.
raises
Well.
it, what does Bart do?
Yeah.
Now, he's just going to call, though. We always say draws are really hard to go for in no limit because, okay, you just paid $500 for on the turn. If you miss the turn bet, you know you're going to be faced with a big bet on the turn.
Absolutely.
If you miss it, obviously.
And this is the thing. I think Alan's going to call here as well, and he's open-ended as well. But if the jack comes off, he's
Oh.
going to have the nuts. And,
Yeah.
And how much would Barry pay him off?
Oh, he'll
If he
move
gets
all
there,
in.
he's going to give him a lot of his chips.
Yeah. And Bart's got to dodge a couple of cards. He's got to dodge a 6, an ace, and a jack. King is safe, but it's scary.
Scary card. You got 2 guys calling
And the
you.
pot is now $1,500, folks. And that is a real connected board. I mean, you got to be scared of 2 pair even, but you got to wonder if one of these players would have raised if they had 2 pair.
Right. This is a tough play.
I mean, if
Wow. Now, that's a $700 pot into about
15 into a 1,500. Actually, I'm sorry, 2,000.
15.
It's a $2,000
Pre-flop,
pot.
it was 100. You had 5 callers.
Yeah, we got 700 into a $2,000 pot. Kind of a weak bet.
Well, now this also looks like maybe you want to call. Maybe you're representing. I do have a straight. Maybe Oh well, here you go. Barry's going to use that king. Barry's going to use.
Now, this
that
is the
king.
question, though. Can you put Barry on, say, King 10? If you put him on King 10 instead of Ace 10, you're beat.
Right.
And this is, oh, man, this really puts Bart to the test. Really tough play here. The pot was $2,000, $2,700.
Well, now you got
34 plus an additional, I want to say 14. The pot is 4,800, I want to say. 4,900, 14 to call.
And I think Bart has what, about 800 left in front of him?
Yeah,
So-
I don't know if Bart can get away from this now.
You know, I think he has to call this hand. I mean,
The pot odds.
he's getting 5 to 1, a little better than 5 to 1 on his money.
Well, it's 800 to win about 5,000, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what?
He's getting more than 5 to 1.
I think he's got a. Oh,
and Bart throws it away. Wow.
Barry, you thief.
And the river, wow, the river was a jack there. Barry would have gotten
He would have gotten there. So, in hindsight, he saved some money, but
He saved $800.
he saved some money. But now, wow. Now, if
Now, how
Alan's
might
in that pot,
have you played that hand? I'm curious now. Let's put yourself in Bart's situation.
Right.
Now, our viewers hear me on a nightly basis. They don't hear you. So,
Right.
just curious. You've got queens in that case. You get called. Well, first of all, the flop comes out 7, 8, 9, 2 spades.
Well,
The pot's 500.
I don't
What
know
do
if
you
I
do?
would have given. I wouldn't have given Barry. He had odds to call. I mean, you
Okay,
know,
so what do
that's
you,
a
I'm
huge
saying,
pot.
what do you bet first?
Oh,
How do you play it if you're
I
Bart?
like this $500 bet. I
Okay,
thought
so
that
you
was
get
a good
called
bet.
in 2 spots.
I think that was a good bet.
Then the
Now,
turn's a king. Then what do you do?
You know, if you had 2 callers, and if they are on straight draws, you got to make them pay for it. I mean, I probably push.
Okay, 'cause at that point you've only got Bart only had
He had
1,500 left.
Yeah. Well, he bet
8
7
and 7.
8, $1,500 left. And
Do you push into a $2,000
You know,
pot?
I think I do. I think
Okay.
I do.
And if you push, I don't think Barry calls.
I don't think he does either. I don't think because you have all your money already. There's no more play left in it.
I mean, you almost have to either check and fold or move in, don't you?
Absolutely.
Because what is
Absolutely.
700 pretty much? You're almost committing yourself.
And you're given odds to call. I
Yeah,
mean,
and you're also kind of giving somebody the. You're almost making it look like you're a little scared.
absolutely. Well, there's a couple different things. I mean, you can look like you want to call, but you know, I don't know. You know, when I have an overpair to a board like that,
Set
But
of
it's always a
fives
little-
here for Mike, and of course he checks it. He likes to check his big hands. Flop is 10-5 to a serve at that.
oh no. You know, I was just going to say it's always a little tougher when you're out there.
Yeah, overcards, overpairs.
Absolutely.
You know, you love them, but you hate them in this game.
And you know, and commend Bart. Barry. He used that king.
He did, yeah.
To his advantage.
And you know, I was going to say Barry. I didn't like the play at first, Barry, because I'm going. There's no fold equity. Bart's got to call this. He's
Right.
getting 5 to 1 on his money.
Absolutely. And he doesn't get a call.
Yeah.
Well, was there? Who bet this?
Wait a second.
Wait a
Okay,
minute.
then clearly we had Mike's hand wrong. Yeah, clearly we had Mike's hand wrong. He must have had 5-4.
Oh, I was
or-
going to say, that Mike put him on a set of 10s.
What a hell of a laydown by Mike, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, we are live here, unedited, unscripted. Shows you normally see on TV have a lot of post-production, and we just do it on the fly.
Which is the best way.
Yeah. Once in a while, obviously, we will mess up. Rarely, though.
Boy, that was a really, I really like that play from Barry. You know, playing it back over in your head. I think if Bart pushes, like you were saying, I don't think he can call, but he kind of opened himself up to a bet.
Well, he almost puts himself in a spot where he gets called by Allen and Barry. You got to go, you know what? Allen's pretty much probably got to draw.
Right.
You know what? And does Barry, with a board like that, does he just call with his hair? It's too scary. I don't think so.
You got spades out there.
Yeah,
you got
I
a
think
straight draw out
he
there.
probably makes a move unless he's on a draw himself.
You know what I think a lot of times, a lot of people don't think about is replaying the hand in your head and really going back and playing it backwards.
Flop of Queen 9-6 here. Mike's got top pair. This was a raised pot, folks. Pot is about 600, and Mike's going to bet 500 into about a $600 pot. The pot is now 1,100 over to Abel, and both players have missed. Let's see if Yassini gets stubborn, though, with his ace-king of spades.
You might give him a call.
Let's see if Abel gets stubborn with his ace-jack. No, he doesn't.
No, he's out.
And
there he is.
wow, and he's going to call with ace-king.
Wow.
We see players make this mistake all the time with ace-king. Turn is a 4 here, and Yassini's really drawing slim. He needs a king and only a king.
That didn't change. And how much? What does Yassini have left behind him? Looks like about
About 1,000, maybe 800.
800 bucks. Okay. I think Yassini checked, right?
Yeah, I think he did. Imagine Mike's going to put him. Yeah, he's
Mike's
going to put
gonna
him all in here. He bets 1,000.
That's a nice play.
And Yassini can't call this.
No.
He's going to throw it away. An ace-king spades, you know, if you don't hit a big draw or a big part of the flop, get away from him.
You know, and that's the tough thing, too, is because now if you hit your ace, now what?
Yeah,
You
we
know?
say that all the time. There are often times where people love to go for overcards and no limit. You have huge reverse implied odds. Let's say you've got ace-king. You raise. Let's say a moron like me calls you with ace-8. The flop comes out 8-5-3.
Right.
Okay, I bet into you. You get stubborn, you call with the ace-king.
2 overs.
And now you hit the ace.
Trouble, you're going to pay the guy
You
off.
got to know that,
You
right?
got it.
You almost rather hit the king.
Absolutely.
And Bart is in for another $1,000, so he's got about $1,800 now.
Well, I like the
And he's in the
rebuy.
game for $3,300 now, if anybody's scoring at home. Now, I got an interesting email here from Let's Trade DNA at AOL.com. He says, Dave, you could replace Bart with a corpse or cadaver, and the viewers would not be able to notice the difference. He's playing so tight that he's not going to get any action when he enters a pot. Well, hey, you know what? He just had queens.
Yeah.
He entered the pot,
And he got five-way action.
and he got more action than he wanted.
Absolutely. But you know, the thing is, you got to also look at the way this game's playing. You know, a $100 raise is a normal rate. You know, people are going to call you with almost anything.
Yeah.
You know, and if with those queens, say you lead out for, I don't know, $200 or what, you know, you might weed out, but you also want some action. But, you know,
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword.
Mike with the best hand here. 3 players. Pot is now $1,200. I mean, $1,200 pot is like nothing in this game.
Right. And Allen takes the – oh, no, he doesn't. Allen has a pair with a straight draw, looks like, huh?
Yep, he's got a gut shot, straight shot with third pair. And Mo's
Mo.
bet $800 here. He's on a stone cold bluff.
Stone cold. Drawn to a jack, and that jack would pretty much kill him if he hit it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can
And
can Allen call
Mike
it?
got away from it here. Now, the funny thing with Mo is Mo's really kind of tightened up his game. We'll only see one move like this an entire night,
Right.
but it usually works. I mean, Mo's got it. He's got an uncanny instinct of
Yeah, when to make
knowing
it.
when to make the move.
Absolutely. I've been on the receiving end of that a couple times, so he does. He really does. And that's a great bet.
And the thing is, he bluffs.
He shows it. Look at
he
that.
bluffs off just often enough to get action with his big
Absolutely.
hands. I mean, I really have a lot of respect for Mo. I mean, obviously, I like him. I'm biased, but I've probably seen about 500 hours of
Right.
Mo,
If I don't bluff, I can't.
and you know, he's pretty good.
He picks his moments. He really does.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see him playing money hands either.
No.
But
You know,
Once he
the
plays,
thing,
he
Mo's
wins.
really been changing it up. You know, he'll go through these phases where he'll play more hands than what he usually does, but still fewer than you know somebody like Mike would
Right.
or even Barry would. But and I like him showing his hand every now and again with a stone cold bluff because that'll make a guy think next time. And,
yeah, well, he plants that in the players, like he plants that into Amir's head. So Amir
Right.
paid him off earlier. Earlier, Mo had a flush and Amir had a straight,
Right.
and he got paid off by Amir.
yeah, that's why you show it. And Mike raises with what, pocket nines here?
Yeah, he's got a real hand. And Bart's got Jack 7 of clubs. I don't think this is the time he wants to make a stand. No, he doesn't. And that's the thing with Bart. He's in the cutoff seat, which is a place where he probably wants to raise and take advantage of the pot
button.
and his image. Problem is, though, is it's always raised before it gets to him.
Absolutely. You know, I think one of these times, if he really wanted to, he can make a good-sized re-raise, and he's going to get people to lay down.
Yeah.
Even moderate hands.
Probably. Well, 10, 9, 4.
Mike, you said a set.
Uh-oh. But Abel's got top pair with a flush draw. The money's going in here.
It's going in. And Amir comes out flying.
And Amir bets with top pair.
Nice.
Wow, and this could get ugly here. A
Yeah,
couple
you're
of
gonna
ace
get
queens
the-
out there that are drawing dead pretty much.
Yeah. You're gonna get the money in.
Yeah, well, Abel's not. I mean, a lot of players aren't going to get away from King 10 of diamonds here.
And look at Mike. Gosh, what do I have? What do I have? Gosh.
This is we try to point out to our viewers, if you sit at a table and you're reading a magazine or you're fiddling with your iPod or something like that, you're missing so much.
All of these,
If
yeah.
you're paying attention, you can see what players want to do.
Absolutely. There are a lot of little subtleties here. See, and I like this raise. I mean, it's a connected board. You got diamonds on the board.
Well-
You got Amir betting out.
I love the raise against Amir because Amir never gives Mike credit for anything.
Absolutely.
So you raise your real hand against Amir. You don't have to slow play against Amir.
You don't have to at all. And
Now,
like we said, they have some history. So
Yeah, you wonder if Abel moving all in here for 750 is going to save Amir.
you know what? It's only another 3 or 250 to Amir.
Right, but if you just think, okay, wait a second, Abel has moved all in too.
Right. Oh,
There's no
absolutely.
way my 10 is good here. I've only got 10-7.
But now, what would Abel move it on? I mean, he's short stack, but
Right.
you know,
Yeah, Amir's going to throw it away.
that's a
though.
good laydown. That's a good laydown.
And the pot is 5-7. The pot's about $2,300.
Amir has, Abel has some outs here. though.
Yeah, he needs runner, full house,
Yeah.
or diamonds here. Obviously, Mike will have a redraw if Abel hits the diamonds. Pot is $2,300.
I think they're just going to run it one time.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that it's probably about a 70-30 here. Well,
No?
that's a killer card there. That pairs the board, and
And
that's
that's
going to
it.
give Mike the hand.
Yep.
Nine's full.
Wow.
Mike was probably about a 75-25 favorite there.
Just calling and gambling.
But if you're not 100% sure, because that's up the top of my head, you can check out our new Pokulator
Oh, nice.
on the
All the percentages
liveatthebike.com.
on there.
Yeah, if you go to liveatthebike.com, on the left-hand side, we have a new feature called the Pokulator,
Nice.
where you can punch in the cards and figure out, what percentage is going to be a winner.
You know,
So if
that's,
somebody wants to do that for us, then check it out. Let us know.
that's a great feature, too, because sometimes so much has to do with the math. And a lot of people, play on instinct, and, that's great and all, and you're playing certain players, but, if you don't, sometimes you don't know your percentages and what you're getting and what your
Yeah.
odds of winning a hand are. And, that has a lot to do with it.
Hey, if you're going to build your perfect poker player, right? Maybe you take
A
a
dash of
pinch,
this, a dash
yeah,
of
a
that.
dash of aggressiveness, a dash of discipline, a pinch of patience. You throw in some fearlessness there, and then you got to throw in some instinct, and obviously you got to put some math ability in there.
Absolutely.
You got to have a firm grasp of the odds.
Now, who would be your ideal? If you had to pick somebody out there right now, who is your ideal? Whether it be a tournament or a live game player.
Obviously, I'm only going to talk about people I've seen. It's
Right.
hard for me to talk about like a Daniel Negreanu. Obviously, I
Right.
have respect for Daniel Negreanu, but I don't know what he's
You don't
playing.
get to see his, well, what's
Right.
really nice is now they got the high stakes poker on
Yeah, but it's
game show,
edited,
and you
though.
get to, but you still get to see a lot of
Yeah,
things.
you
know.
do. You do.
You still get to see a lot of stuff. It'd be really neat if you got somebody to do this. Oh,
And we got an original raise here from seat 2 with Ace Queen, a call from seat 3, a call from Mike, and then a re-raise all in from from Abel. And normally you'd think that Abel is steaming, but he actually has a real hand here. He's got tens. And Eugene calls, and now look at this. Yassini is going to move all in as well.
wow.
And Mike calls with 5-6, and this pot, I'm going to get word that I think the pot is probably about $2,200 or so
Right off
away.
the bat.
Pretty
You got, 2 players all in, so it's just Eugene really and Mike.
But the pot is pre-flop $2,200, and look at these hands.
And this is what we're talking about, how you can hit one hand here and make a huge amount of money back.
Oh, man, and
Look at that.
Eugene has got top pair, and he's got money behind. He's got money.
Yeah.
Mike's got nothing. Mike's got no pair, no draw.
Easy to get away.
And Yassini's in great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, I bet, and Mike throws it away.
Okay, go all the way.
Turns a deuce. River is a 9. That changes nothing, and
it
Eugene
to
is going to
Eugene.
take it down. Take down about a $2,200 pot there. So
Just like
those,
that. Keep him coming back for more.
yeah, those of you who voted for Eugene, don't despair. He's coming back.
Coming back. And Eugenia's locking up the seat.
Once again, we're doing Live at the Bike. You're watching Live at the Bike with David Tuckman. I'm here with a special guest. We've got Midnight here.
That's right.
Havel Abbas, right?
I bring the darkness.
Yeah, and Hav is a local professional poker player. Real solid, no-limit hold'em player. We'll see him oftentimes in the 10-20 game and the 5-10 game.
Which is a great game here, by the way. I played at a couple of the local rooms, and Live at the Bike.
Yeah.
Very good game. It's a great
Well,
game.
you know, I had to convince you. I remember probably about 4 or 5 months ago, I had to
Yeah.
convince you to play in the game. And I remember that night I actually saw you, and you said, "Hey, man, thanks.
Thanks for bringing me in.
Thanks for
That's
bringing me
right.
in." Exactly.
I know, don't worry. I'm back on a free roll.
And Abel is out. I'm not sure if Abel's going to get more cash and he's going to come back, but he's down probably 3 or 4 buy-ins already.
Yeah. You know, the thing I think with Live at the Bike is I think what a lot of people have, like for me anyway, early on, I wasn't sure I wanted people to be able to see how I played.
Right.
To see but you play with, you know, our Live at the Bike game here is pretty much the same players over and over and over. So you pretty much, you know who you're playing with anyway.
Yeah, we got a straddle pot here, and Mike is actually going to raise out of the straddle with King, Queen, and Mo's going to call him with Ace-4. Pot is quickly $500, and Mo hits top pair.
Yep.
Not a great kicker, but you know, again, Mike could have anything here.
Any two.
And Mike's got a gut shot here. Needs a jack for the straight. Actually had that on the flop. Yeah, and Mo's they check the flop, and Mo's pretty sure he has the best hand. He bets 400 on the turn. He takes it down.
And Mike told him, King, Queen of Hearts. Off by 1 suit, but
close enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Donna, we have 2 seats open.
Oh, 2 seats.
I know, he's getting up.
Maybe we'll see
I
Gorgeous.
see you salivating.
I'm just like drooling over there.
2 seats. I'll play. Put me in. Lock it up.
Here comes George now. We'll see some of George's play. Actually, George played this game, I think, on Tuesday, he let me know.
Yeah,
He's taking the dinner out to wife. He gave me a call and told me he took it down. He made some good money in this
Yeah,
game.
he played Wednesday's game, too.
Wednesday's game. Maybe.
Yeah, I was really excited for him because he'd just gotten back to Greece. He told me he was a little rusty because he hadn't been playing poker for about a month. And he came in and he played the 25-50 game and took it for about 3 Gs.
Actually, he told me he took it for quite a more.
Well, he might have after the show. More.
After, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
During our show, he took it for 3 Gs.
Yeah, he said it was a good game. You guys had a really good lineup that night. You know what? It's always a good lineup.
Yeah.
You know,
You're not just saying somebody always goes to me, they go, "Hey, so how are the games here?" And I go, "In California?
yeah, right.
Card room? Games are always good."
Always.
Mike bets the flop, takes it down with nothing.
Yeah, the monster. You got a 4 with the deuce kicker.
Yeah, well, hey, he had a runner straight draw.
Right.
Possibility there.
Mike, actually, last week, I saw him give the worst beat I've ever seen in poker.
Oh, yeah, he was on the show here with the Ace-King.
Yep, Ace-King.
Anybody wondering about that hand? If you're curious about that hand, you actually can subscribe to the archives. Go to liveatthebike.com, top left corner. You subscribe to him for $14.95 a month. You get every single show he ever done. We've had shows with Barry Greenstein commentating, Doyle Brunson, Kenneth James, Kathy Liebert. I mean, you name it, they've been on the show.
Absolutely. And you get to see so many different styles of play, too.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know?
Interesting, talking about different styles of play, guess who we're getting next Wednesday?
Who's that?
We are getting the World Series of Poker main event champion, Joseph
Really?
Hashim.
Really?
He is coming on down. He's going to play in the big game next
25-50?
Wednesday.
Is that what that is?
The 25-50 game, minimum buy-in, 3,000. We are getting him. So
You know, I'm
next
curious
Wednesday
to
at
see
7 p.m.
what his live game is like.
8-5-4, all clubs. Barry's got top pair. But
And
Mike's
Mikey
going
comes out flying.
Well, hey, Mike's got a flush draw with a 5.
Yeah. Monster.
Huge. And
lays
Barry
down.
doesn't want to get involved.
You know, I don't think anybody can call this. No clubs, no pair, no. Well, now is Eugene going to try to make a move here?
And we like to say that, you know, it's
Oh, he
often,
has a pair.
It's oftentimes a really difficult time to call when it's a 3 flush on the board.
Right.
Because you have no idea where your opponent's at.
And it's Mike.
Right, exactly. Now Eugene has the button. He's got position on Mike, which is critical.
You know, I think Eugene's going to be stubborn here.
Well,
He has the best
I hope
hand.
for his sake he is stubborn.
Yeah.
But Mike's got outs here.
And,
There's
look
the
at
out. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Oh, the 4.
Yeah,
pair
Mike
of the board.
actually. Yeah, Mike actually makes 2 pair, but the 4 on the turn kills Mike's 2 pair. Eugene's got 8s and 4s, which obviously beats 5s and 4s.
Absolutely. Looks like they just checked it on the end.
Yeah,
too, so.
Mike's hand does not play. The 3 did not help him.
Wow.
Wow, and Mike needed a 5 there or a club to win that hand.
Little sweet revenge there for Eugene.
Once again, if you want to play against Bart, if you think you can take him on, you can play him next Sunday, February 12th. Beat the Live at the Bike commentator. And it is going to be on the LA Poker Scene site. And if you want to check out the LA Poker Scene, you can go to liveatthebike.com. On the right-hand side, and there's a banner. And LA Poker Scene, I mean, it's a pretty new internet site, but it's rocking. I mean, for a nickel, you can win a $15,000 package to the World Series of Poker.
Where else can you get odds like that?
I know. Turn a nickel into, say,
No way.
$7.5 million.
Yeah, Amazing.
And they have the $500,000. I mean, talking $500,000 free roll. At the
And
LA
you can do
Poker
it.
scene.
I mean, look at Moneymaker a couple years back. What did he played a satellite for $40, I think, and worked it into
$2.5 million.
$2.5 million.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, just checked out.
Now let's see how long it takes to get Georgie on tilt with Mike's constant raising. They've been jarring back and forth.
Yeah, I think
a little
George is in seat 3, by the way. We'll see how much
Seat 3.
he's buying in for. We say goodbye to Yassini, who went broke before.
bit. Didn't come back.
3 players.
And we said goodbye to Bart, actually. Where did Bart go?
Look at this. Amir hits trips.
You guys playing me?
Now, this is one of those cases where you've hit trips, but, you know, you're not going to probably win a big pot. There's nothing in there. But Amir's going to slow play it.
Actually, he bet it, and I think Mo gave him a
He
call.
did, okay. And he's going to bet 200 now. And Mo's going to throw it away. Barry throws it away. And Amir takes it down. Trip jacks.
And, I
And
like
we said
the- you
goodbye
know,
to
I like
Bart.
the
I
bet.
can't believe that.
I like the guy coming out and betting his hand.
Yeah, well, nobody ever gives you credit for it.
Ever.
And I always maintain that a hand like that with King Jack, now King Jack's obviously a little better,
Right.
but if the flop comes out Jack, Jack 3,
Right.
and you have, say, Jack 9 or Jack 10, and you're faced with some resistance from a pretty solid player,
Absolutely.
there's a good chance you're beat.
Absolutely. You know, I think that happened the other night with,
Who won the last pot?
oh gosh, I was watching a little bit of live, and the board came with 2 queens. And there was a young lady sitting in seat 1 who had, I think, a queen and a 3, and somebody in seat 3 had like
So there you got exactly. It was actually Bonnie versus Vic Park.
Bonnie and Vic Park,
One had
that's right.
Queen 8 and one had Queen 9.
right,
And they both had a queen. And you
Absolutely.
got to realize that if the board is Queen, Queen 3,
right,
and you're getting, you know, somebody's
You're gonna
raising you or
call?
calling you,
Yeah.
what do you think they got?
absolutely. Especially, I think Vic Park was ahead the whole way, and
Yeah.
he was calling. And I at the end, I believe Bonnie made a huge bet.
Yeah.
And he looked absolutely disgusted. Like,
Well, he figured he's got to be beat.
absolutely. And he reluctantly made a call.
Look at Georgia. Georgia's got aces.
Wow, just
And
like
he
that,
raised it up and got called by Eugene, and Eugene is going to bluff into it with deuce 4 spades.
And this is one thing George has been talking about. He's not going to slow play or checking in.
Range 900.
And George is going to right away make it 900 more, and he's going to take it away. Eugene obviously is not going to call.
Right.
Nice way to welcome yourself into the game.
Right
First
into
hand aces, and he wins it right away. Takes down about $500-$600 profit.
Just like that.
Hey, have you ever sat down in a game, doubled up like on the second hand, and just said, "Okay, I'm going home"?
You know, I've thought about it. Actually, I had. You know what? I'll tell you what. I have hit when I first started playing No Limit.
Yeah,
And I started out through the ranks.
Of
100,
course.
200,
like most players.
3,
Right?
5, and I moved up pretty quick. You know, with the span of like 5 months, I was playing in the 500, which is pretty quick.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a second here because Amir's got pocket kings on the button, and seat 7.
Call double A if he doesn't show up.
He's got ace jack and is going to raise it up here.
70. Double A's.
And that's Paul. Paul's a real solid player.
Very solid.
Very ABC, rarely gets out of line. If he's raising in late position, he's raising everywhere.
Yeah.
He's probably got a pretty good hand.
And usually, if he's going to lose a hand, it's going to be a bad beat.
Yeah, and well, look at this, though. But that's not Abel. That's actually Paul. Big difference between Paul and Abel.
Yeah.
And look at this. He gets called by Amir on the button. He checks it with ace jack. Amir bets.
Right.
And I imagine Paul's probably going to lay this down. And he does.
Nice. He's a solid player.
I was actually playing with Paul a little while ago where I was on the button. I had ace king. I raise it up. Somebody had limped in. I raised it up. Paul called me in the small blinds. Right away, I hated my hands.
Yeah, absolutely. A guy
Yeah.
like Paul calling you.
Another guy calls too. Flop comes out ace king queen. Right? And Paul actually bets right out, which really made me scared.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you don't like
Other
that.
guy calls. I raise it up to see where I'm at, and
Right.
Paul calls me again.
Oh,
Turns out Paul had the same exact hand I had.
right.
But
Right.
I figured that was the worst he had. It was the same hand I had.
That's a tough call, too, though. I mean, you
Yeah.
got a connected board.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
and you gotta
well, I
like
know
Paul
Paul
calling
doesn't. I
you.
know he doesn't have Jack 10.
Right.
I actually thought he either had pocket queens.
Well, it was a raised pre-flop. You were
Yeah,
saying,
I
right?
say he's
So-
either got pocket queens or he got
Right.
the same hand I had.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately for me, he had the same hand I had.
3 players.
Barry's got pocket nines here.
9-9 for Barry here.
100.
And look at this, though. Eugene, he just cannot control himself here. He's
No.
just going to raise it up.
And that's what happens sometime in No Limit. You know, you start pressing.
Yeah, that is a perfect word for it.
You know?
Pressing. I keep a journal myself, and Barry.
Oh, look at this.
Well, Barry raised, and Eugene is re-raising.
All in.
All in?
Wow.
Well, this is a tough call for Barry, but then again, we've seen Eugene bluff off money before.
I got a feeling I'll eat one of my left sandals if Barry doesn't make this call. I think he's going to.
Let's see now. I mean, you're bluffing the wrong guy here.
Yeah. Oh.
Is Barry going to lay this down?
Well, the 2-5.
He lays it down.
Can somebody give me a fork and a knife, please?
Wow. Oh my.
Oh, this is this leather tastes awful.
I cannot believe it.
And I've just gotten some salt and pepper here.
I got to tell you, I mean, it's not a bad lay down because you can't beat. Obviously, you can't beat pocket sevens. You can't beat a 5, any 5.
Right. Well, credit Eugene.
But you know what? I mean, the question, if you're wondering, is didn't we just see Eugene make this move with absolutely nothing,
right.
king high? Isn't that fresh in Barry's mind?
And maybe that's maybe Barry wasn't paying attention to that. I mean, I definitely think Mike would have called that.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing there.
Guy hits top pair. Thought it was good, I guess.
I mean, the way he bluffed up his money before,
right.
Man, I really thought he wasn't paying attention because Barry's not the kind of guy you really want to bluff.
No, the guy's pockets are deep.
You value
it's really not about the money.
It's a lot of it about ego sometimes. He doesn't want to get bluffed out.
Absolutely.
Straddled pot here by Mike, of course. Bunch of limpers.
Wow, Eugene moved all in. What a move on that
all
last
in.
hand.
Yeah, well, he bet Barry raised him up to 600,
right.
and he moves all in.
Wow. Took
and
all
he
the play out of
folds
it.
here. Yeah. King, 4.
Sometimes that decides a lot of hands. When you take all the play out of it, a guy moves all in, 2 cards to come, do you really want to gamble?
Yeah, exactly. Good point there. Mike's got the best hand here, by the way, with 2 pair. He's got kings and 4s with an ace kicker. And he's going to check it, and a 7 comes on the river, and that doesn't change anything.
There's an old friend we haven't seen for a while, huh? Hollywood Russ? Is that
yeah. You wonder where he's been.
And Mike bets out. And I don't think anybody can call him here.
Yeah. Once again, we're live at the bike here. I'm David Tuckman, here with not Bart Hansen.
No.
Bart Hansen was actually playing tonight. I'm here with Hav, Midnight.
And it was a pleasure. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
400.
And look at this.
Getting word that we might get Bart back in the game.
Did Eugene raise this?
I think so. Mike was the original bettor, actually.
Wow.
He bet his 4, and Eugene raised this.
This is great. They have a beautiful friendship blooming.
The one thing with Eugene, I got to tell you, you're talking about pressing.
Right.
I mean, this play is probably going to work as well, but you kind of wonder. You go, what did the 7 do for you?
Nothing. And didn't change. Was he slow playing?
I mean, unless he had pocket 7s.
Yeah.
You're just kind of wondering what the heck does this guy have. But Eugene is one of those guys. We see it all the time where they try to win every single pot they play.
Yeah, because you're trying to make your money back. Like 2 weeks ago, I saw Eugene call Mike down with a deuce, just a pair of deuces, and Mike had an ace. So that might have had something to do with it. He might have thought back at what took place that hand.
And look at Barry. Barry's quietly getting his stack even higher, up to 12,000 now. Mo up to 7,500. I want to say Mo was up probably 6,000 tonight.
Yeah.
He's really having a nice night, quietly again. Now, obviously, seat 3 there, that's not Yassini, that's George. He's in for 5,000.
Well, he came in, worked up the pocket aces.
And Bart no longer in the game. I'm not sure who's in seat 5. Hollywood Russ actually is in the game. But we're going to get word. Bart is back in the booth, and we can maybe have Bart explain some of the plays he made. Didn't play many hands tonight.
It wouldn't even have mattered if I had pocket.
I want to thank Hav. We'll see him back in the game. He'll probably be in the game next week.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter if I had ace in that spot.
Tater in here. There's Isaac turning me off instead of Bart. Do apologize.
Doesn't matter.
And Bart is in the booth, folks.
I'm in the house, Dave.
In the house.
Well, the more and more it comes back to me, the more and more I realize how badly I played that Queen's hand on the turn. Somebody told me that Barry had me beat, but I think you could see in my face I didn't like the king. And when you run the hand back in the head, the king actually probably didn't necessarily affect the hand unless somebody was on a king-high flush draw.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And look at this flop here. I want to stop here.
Yeah,
Alan's got king-queen, and he flops trips. So what do you think he'll do? He'll probably slow play it, right?
A couple hearts on board. Looks like Russ in seat 5 is going to lead with a flush draw. 9-3 of hearts.
Pocket deuces for Mike. Nobody's really got much of anything. That's Hollywood Russ in seat 5, by the way, folks.
Yep, Alan's going to make the call.
Familiar old face.
Mike is out of the hand.
Sporting the facial hair.
Well, look at that.
wow.
The turn's a heart.
And it's a deuce there. Mike would have made a set of deuces. He would have made a full house. He would have made kings full of deuces. That would have been the magic card here.
A call. Oh, look at this.
Wow.
The river's a king. A bet by Russ on the turn. And now Russ is going to check.
Oh, well, he can't even. I mean, look at Alan rubbing his hands.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Alan ever thought he was behind.
And this is pretty much a fold here for Russ.
Yeah, we were curious, actually, and obviously this is going to be a fight. I mean, right now, I mean, I'm trying to think of what even Russ has. He's got a flush. I mean, he can't do any pair. It's an easy laydown.
You know, the thing that pisses me off about the hand, though, is I realized once Barry raised me, it didn't even cross my mind that I had 800 left and that he actually could have been making a move, and I was getting about 3-1 in the pot.
Yeah, that was the question we were bringing up.
Yeah.
The pot was actually close to $5,000. It was like $4,500. You were actually getting almost 5 to 1.
Was it that big?
Yeah, and that's,
Really?
that was the thing we were wondering there was you had to think, you know, do you have the odds to call? And I asked Hav to replay the hand, and I said, how would you play it, Hav?
Yeah.
And he agreed with me. We both really liked your flop bet of $500.
Right.
The pot was $500. You bet $500. The board's somewhat scary. 7, 8, 9.
Oh, it was a horrible flop.
Yeah, when
I thought,
4
for my
people
hand.
call you, you hate that flop.
Yeah.
Now you get called by Barry and you get called by Allen. Now you figure either player is probably going to raise you with a real hand.
Right.
So they're probably both on a draw still. Now the king's obviously a scary card if one of them had, say, king 10 or a king high flush draw.
Right.
And
What did Barry have?
He actually had.
I was trying to think
he had
about
ace 10. He had an open-ended straight draw with just the ace high. So he could have had king 10, but he actually had ace 10.
See, I was thinking that possibly, you know, Barry might have flopped a monster, like something like Jack 10 of spades, because I know with the set he
Right.
probably would have raised with that many people in
Well,
there.
with a set or 2 pair, he's clearly going to raise because the board is too scary.
Right.
3 players.
Well raised here with pocket jacks and Allen and a mirror in the hand with king queen. Ace 8, 9. Mo's still good here with jacks.
Yeah. And it gets checked to him, and he's going to take a Q and bet.
400.
And look at this, Amir's going to make a move. He's check raising here without an ace. He's going to make a check raise here with king queen. And actually, Dave, I was down about $1,300. And let's see what Mo is going to do here. But the hand that killed me was before the show. I don't know if anybody noticed or told.
Which hand?
Well, it was before the show that was actually on, and I'll get to it here in a second. I had actually come onto the table with about 2,300. And let's see what Mo is going to do here.
And Amir loves. It's funny. I wonder if Amir is kind of like an ego kind of thing, where he loves to mix it up with Mo. Loves to. I mean, he just. It's funny. I mean, Amir makes more moves. He calls down Mike all the time, and he makes more moves against Mo than anybody else. It's almost like he wants to test his, challenge himself.
Right.
I mean, to me, it's all about the money. I'm going to pick a weaker opponent to make a move against. And obviously, you're making a move against somebody who's paying attention. And Mo's obviously paying attention. But Mo also is a good enough player that he can read you. Well, look at that, though. Amir's move works. Gets Mo off of the jacks. Gets him off the best hand there.
Did you read this email here?
I did.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. We were talking about your comfort zone. And we said that, Bart normally he does play the 5-10 game and will play the 10-20 game. But this game here was actually playing more like a 20-40
This game was insane.
Yeah,
I never felt comfortable with 2,000 or 2,500 on the table.
Yeah.
I couldn't call any raises.
Yeah, I mean, this game here was...
And I was squeezed between Mike and Barry. It was the worst spot for me to be in.
We pointed
I really
that out as
didn't
well.
have enough money on the table to play.
We said, actually, it's funny. A lot of players incorrectly actually want to play behind Mike.
Right.
Where playing behind Mike does nothing for you because Mike's always going to raise in front of you and put you in a tough spot. Now, you almost want to be in front of Mike because you know what Mike's going to do anyway. He's such a predictable player that you almost rather be in front of him there. Because that way you can raise in front of him or even smooth call with your big hands and he'll raise for you.
Ace Jack 3 here, and look at Barry's got top 2 pair.
Yeah,
and he's going to check it from up front.
Well, Alan's got a
Straight draw.
gut shot, and if he lets a king come off here, he might get in trouble.
And what the hell has Eugene been doing tonight anyways? The turn's
Oh.
a 7. Huh? What the hell? when he flipped over a black king 9,
Yeah,
I think to
and
myself, what the
we
hell?
were just flabbergasted. Actually, me and Hob were just had no clue what the guy was doing. Eugene has actually been bluffing probably 1 out of every 3 hands.
Barry has bet 60 here, and Eugene's going to call the flush draw, and Alan's going to call the gut shot here to the king. And the river is an 8. Of course, if the king of diamonds came, Alan would be no good. Barry's going to bet again. Yeah, you know, the more and more I move that hand back in my head, I don't think it would have been quite a $5,000 pot because I didn't have enough money to cover Barry. I only had 800. But yeah, 4-1. You know, Barry could definitely have been making that move. I mean,
You had made a $100 raise pre-flop, got called in 4 spots. The pot was 500.
I guess that was nowhere near enough, huh?
Right. Well, you bet 500 on the flop.
Right.
And then it made it 2,000. Then you bet 700.
Right. And he's
got
moving
raised.
me all in. Yeah.
So the pot was 3,400 plus his raise.
Right.
So plus your 800, you're looking at about a $4,200 pot, 800 the call. So you're getting.
How does Barry? Let me ask you. I mean, he obviously outplayed me there, but how do you call with Ace 10 when you're next to me with 6 people behind you on that board?
Well, he's open-ended. You know
offsuit.
what? Amir's got pocket aces here.
Yeah.
We'll get to it in a second. We actually were saying that Barry calls open-ended straight draw 100% of the time against anybody, and he was actually thinking about it again with you.
Yeah.
Because of your tight image, he almost laid it down.
Yeah. Mike is going to raise here to 60. And I was also cold deck, Dave. I mean, did you see some of the hands I
Yeah,
was
we were
getting?
pointing out that you were getting Jack 4 and
Yeah,
8
yeah.
deuce, and, you know, the few times you got an ace, it was ace deuce.
I don't necessarily know about that email that players know it and are willing to run over him. I mean, besides that play,
Right.
Barry,
I think it was more of the game just played so big.
It was a huge game.
This game played like an aggressive 20-40
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Where each pot is almost $400, $500, $600, $700 pre-flop, and you've got to be able to willing to throw $200 or $300 in there pre-flop.
Yeah.
You know, and unless you have a premium hand, you might not want to do that, especially if you only have 2,000 behind.
Yeah, it looks like Amir made a re-raise here.
Yeah, he takes it
He's gonna
down.
take it down. I mean, have we ever seen this game play this big before on the show, this 10-20 game?
Yeah, you know what? You got
What a
Mike,
game for me to hop into, huh?
You know
My
what? With
goodness.
Eugene mixing it up the way he
Yeah.
I mean, I think 5 out of 9 players straddled every single time.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy out there. But I actually had, right before the broadcast, I had brought it, raised in with King Jack of clubs, and I had 2,300, and Amir, and the flop came Jack 10-3. I bet Amir raised me to 600. I moved Amir all in. He only had about 1,200 in the hand, and I ended up losing to Queen Jack. I would have had 4,200 to start the show with. He made a running straight on the river, and that's really what killed me. 3-way action here.
9-6-4, sorry, Rainbow.
Yep.
I tell you, this play-by-play thing, though, man.
Was it something I said?
I mean, I'm glad we're off tomorrow.
Yep.
And Alan's going to call here with second pair. Turn is a 10 of spades. Doesn't change anything. Barry's still got the best hand here. Alan needs a 5 or a 6 to win this pot.
Well, I'm going to just let you continue on tonight, Dave, because I'm mentally exhausted right now.
Got about 15 minutes left in the show.
Yeah.
And the river's an ace, changes nothing. So probably go check. And it does. And now Barry's going to take it down. Now the interesting thing is now on the turn, when the king comes up, obviously you don't like that king. Overpair.
I think you could see it in my face. I think
Yeah.
Barry read it.
Well, the thing that we didn't quite understand was the pot is now 2,000.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And you only have 1,500.
Right.
Both Hob and I both thought
Right.
this was check and fold moment or move all in.
Or
moment.
move all in, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking with kind of the weak bet, maybe. Wait, I wasn't on a draw. Ask like a kind of a little. I was just trying to see, maybe work off the other players. You can't really give credit for Alan calling.
No,
really. With
not at
any,
all.
I don't even know what
Alan,
he called.
the flop was 7, 8, 9. Alan could call you with 6 deuce.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd call you the bottom end of the straight draw. You never even know
Right.
with him. Alan could call you with ace jack even. I mean, just overcards. He turned out he had a 10 also. They both had 10s. And you had some cards to dodge.
Yeah. That was the only hand I picked up, Dave, besides
Yeah.
the pocket kings, and I just.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better,
Yeah.
you had Barry beat when he moved all in on you and you folded,
But
the
the
river
river-
actually would have beaten you. The river came a jack of diamonds and he would have made the straight.
Of course, if I move in on the turn, he's not going to call, is he?
Probably not.
Yeah. King Jack against Ace Queen of Diamonds here.
400.
And Abel's going to bet. Look at this. He bets 400 with King Jack.
King 9 good?
And looks like he's going to take it down there. There you go. What a comeback from Mike, huh? Jesus, he was down about 8,000 early on in the game.
He lost 5,000 the first two hands.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Now he's even. Okay, well, let's see what we can figure out here. We're going to try to figure out who wins dinner at the HT Grill in Redondo Beach.
Brian.
Buttons over here in seat number 9.
And check this out here. Mickey Nygaard actually gave us the poker odds. He went to our Pokulator on liveatthebike.com and told us the odds on that King 10 of diamonds that Abel had versus a set of 9s was about 70-30. Thank you so much.
So we had a raise here by Mike. He's got pocket jacks, and Abel's in there with 8-9 of hearts. Here we go to the flop. Queen, 8. Mike is still good here. He checks.
500.
And Abel's going to bet 500. And Mike check calls here with the jacks. Boy, the pot's like 1,300 already. The turn's a king. And does this get worse and worse for Mike? But it's going to go check here on the turn. And the river's a 3. And you wonder if Mike's is just going to check. Oh, he's going to throw out a little bet here.
800.
He's going to bet 800. And Abel's going to pay him off with an 8. Has this game been playing this crazy the entire night, Dave?
It really, I mean,
Oh,
like I said,
God.
I mean, a game like this, a lot of people can sit at home and go, what is Barton doing? He's not playing any hands.
Ugh.
But you know what? I mean, you have to understand, obviously, first of all, it's a lot easier at home. It's a lot easier here in the booth watching.
Right.
When you're playing in a game like this, the blinds are 10-20, but the blinds are completely irrelevant. When one guy makes it 150 to go, the next guy raises it up to 400, and they're in there with nothing. Garbage.
Right.
And you got to look down at like ace 10 and go, do I want to really put $400 in there with that?
Again, I played one hand, and I was down 1,300.
Okay, and we're getting word. This is pretty amazing. Eugene for the night, and I think we're going to close the voting, right? We're going to close the tally right now. Eugene finished minus $3,600.
Wow.
And the closest vote here, check this out. This is amazing, folks. Bernie Makatange said Eugene will lose the most, and he will lose $4,000. Wow. He also said Bart will win the most, and he said you were going to win $8,000. So he was off on that one, but he only has to get one right. And he said Eugene will lose the most at $4,000, off by $400. Congratulations to Bernie Makatange. He wins. He wins complimentary meal to the HT Grill in Redondo Beach, California. And you know what? Eugene is also going to win dinner at the HT Grill.
We had, I believe, a bet and a call here. I believe George threw a bet out here, and Abel called with Ace King. And George is going to bet again. He's going to bet 300 here with Jack 8. And Abel's going to call again.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just thinking how,
it kills you, don't it?
It kills me that I couldn't get any hands against any of these guys.
You're watching this.
Oh,
I mean, I'm
God.
sure the first half hour was crazy when the pots were just flying around. The first 3 hands of the night were like 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. And you kind of wish you had just gotten a couple of hands.
George's going to throw a little blocker bet out here on the river.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to get raised.
Yep.
And I don't think Abel's even going to call this. Let's see. So once again, Bernie wins the dinner at HT Grill, and so does Eugene. And these meals are donated by the HT Grill in Redondo Beach, California, where they have great food plus room to throw your next big bash.
Oh, cool.
They are owned by the same management as Hennessy's, so you know their reputation is solid. You know what's kind of cool here? Now, I know you're coming to my house for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
Big party. But if you're not coming to my house, okay, go to the HT Grill, because for $100, actually, for $100, you get all-you-can-eat prime rib, an open bar, and you get a square in the football pool for a chance to win $4,000.
Wow.
And if you come with a friend, your friend gets in for half off. So for $150, you get open bar, all-you-can-eat prime rib, and a square to possibly win $4,000.
Wow.
That's a pretty good deal, huh?
Absolutely.
So
3-way, it looks like 4-way action here. Ace, King, 7, rainbow. And we got an Ace, 6 of hearts over there for Abel. And I don't think anybody bet here. Now the turn's another king. And now Mike is going to come out and bet. But Russ has got trip kings in seat 5. He's got King 3. And Russ is just going to call. And now Abel is going to raise. He thought he was slow playing the Ace 6 on the flop. He checked the flop, and now he pops it up on the turn. And now if you're Russ, who doesn't have any idea what the hell's been going on, he might muck the king 3. And again, see, and he throws away trip kings.
You know what?
Wow.
In a normal game, that's not a bad lay down at all.
Yeah.
Because you got to wonder, what is this guy betting? But then again, it's Abel, though. You know what? Hollywood Russ hasn't been here for 4 months. So he doesn't know. He's not privy to this, obviously. But I got to tell you, though, if you come into a game like this and you don't know the players, do you have anybody to blame but yourself? I mean, all you have to do is go to the archives.
Right.
I mean, is a $14.95 a month subscription worth it when you're talking about thousands of dollars like a game like this?
Butt moves over here to seat 4.
It always amazes me when people kind of like, they're cheap and they don't want to spend the money on like either a book or a magazine or in this case the archives when you can win thousands of dollars with that information.
And we had a little raise here to 80 by Mo. 6-8 of hearts. Boy, what a hand by Mo. Ace-10, huh?
Oh, well,
the night up?
We were
That was
calling it there. We said if
unbelievable.
a queen comes, Barry's going to go broke, and Barry certainly did pay him off.
That was an unbelievable hand.
Barry's made a nice comeback, though.
Yeah.
Barry's actually, I want to say, total tally for the night, folks, by the way, if you're just wondering at home. Mo is up about $4,500. He's the big winner.
Barry makes the call here with ace-4. It was Paul, that brought this one in for a raise with 8-6 of hearts. And he's hit middle pair here. And he's going to bet.
220.
He's going to bet 220 here. And he is going to take it down.
Yeah, he takes down. He's got a nice tight image there. If Paul bets, he's usually got it. And look at Barry's turnaround. Now, Barry lost about $3,000 the first pot of the night, and he's still up $2,000 for the night.
Well, here we go and take a look at another chip count here.
Yeah, I mean, pretty impressive turnaround there. And Paul obviously only has about $2,000, $1,000 there.
Well, this is going to be the last hand of the night. Dave, when you play on this game, I hope you have a little better showing than I do.
Well,
Again, I don't think I was necessarily all that scared as in terms of I just wasn't getting any hands and didn't have enough money on the table. Really.
It's hard to judge any poker player by one session.
Right.
If we judged Mo by one session, we'd think he's an idiot sometimes. It's not a matter of you can really. Poker's a long-term thing.
Mike's going to raise here, queen 4 offsuit.
Well, end the show the way we started it.
Yeah. Abel is going to call here with king jack. So Mike's been raising pretty much with garbage all night, huh?
Well, I mean, he raises every other hand.
Yeah.
He can't possibly have that many good hands. We were saying, though, that with him to your right, it's obviously really difficult because every single pot is raised when it gets to you.
Jack 6 deuce. Well, Abel's in there with top pair. You know he's not going to go anywhere.
Now, normally king jack, we talk about that hand being easily dominated, but when Mike raises, you could be dominating him.
And Abel's going to bet right into Mike, and he's going to take it down, and that is going to do it for us tonight.
Take it down, Mr. Brown.
And another week down in the history of Live at the Bike.
Yep.
Well, thanks again for joining us. I wish I could have had a better showing, but I guess it could have been worse, right?
Yes, it definitely
I'm
could have
actually
been worse.
even for the day, so on the 5-10
There you
game
go.
I did well. So for everyone here in the booth and for Dave Tuckman, and thanks to Hav Midnight for filling
I'm
in
sorry.
for me.
Your Super Bowl pick before you end.
I
And his
like
final score.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, what's the score?
Pittsburgh, I want to say, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, actually. Maybe 17-14. What do you think about that?
Okay, I'm saying Seattle is going to win this game, and they're going to win it 31-26.
All right.
There it is, folks.
Well, that's going to do it. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
Good night.
Have a good weekend.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.